Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Friday Night Light Series here live from Texas Motor Speedway for the No Limits 300. My name's Kirk Mills, alongside today Ron Mounds, and of course our producer Howie Burrow is going to be over here in the booth with us. Tonight we are going to have one hell of a race here in the Lone Star State, and we got a lot of cars out here getting ready to try and make another chance at a win this year in the Friday Night Light Series. Ron, what do you think about this race going into things?
Well, off the back of Talladega last time out, I think some drivers will be delighted about the fact that they're now running on a somewhat more routine and regular racetrack here at Texas. It's a track that in the realm of intermediate, some people love while others absolutely despise. I'll tell you, with some of the negative thoughts around this place, you'd think that it was built on a Native American burial ground. But I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to have some fun. I remember the broadcast that we did here last season being quite interesting. We also had a green-white checkered in that race, and we've had a pretty good run up to this point this season with not having too many green-white checkered, so who knows? Maybe we'll have one here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We'll find out. Brandon Hastings came away with the win at Talladega last week. One hell of a finish. It was fun to watch him do it. And now we got ourselves an intermediate mile-and-a-half racetrack here. You can take a look at your point standings. Close battle between the top two. Benefield's got the point right now, followed by Hicksonball and McWhorter, top three, and a large gap going back to fourth for Daniel Wiles. And the rest of your current point standings is on your screen as we now go ahead and get ready to start this thing off here, Ron. They're out there in warm-ups right now, but why don't we just go ahead and take a look and see who's starting where? We already have the starting lineup ready to go, I believe. Starting on the pole, Andrew Dyson got it done again. That guy is just on rails. Got Blake Clue up to his outside. Best qualifying run so far of the year, I believe, in that 14 car. Seth Foudy in the 77 will start P3 alongside Aiden Amaro. Great first top five I've seen that 32 in all year. And Bryson Hicksonball will round out your top five starters alongside Casey Graves starting in 6th in the 01. Starting in 7th tonight, Lucas Hoitzman in the 97 alongside Jacob Simpson in the 22. Going to be hard to beat these guys. They're pretty quick. Daniel Wiles, we talked about him a minute ago, 4th in points. Starting in 9th, in 10th place, Noah Woods driving that 56 car.
And looking outside your top 10 here tonight, the field continues on with Hunter Truel in the 71 car starting this race in 11th, next to Bryce Reiner in 12th place. It will be lucky spot P13 belonging to Kyle Amon, hoping for a falling anvil not to come on top of his head here tonight. Ryan Von Henschel looking to keep the momentum going here this season. Right behind them, it'll be your 8th row with Jesse Winslow and Eric Wineland starting in 15th and 16th place respectively. Right behind them, starting this race in 17th place, will be Michael Mesnard in the number 35 car, next to Matthew Boston Wheeler in the 10. Then rounding out your top 20 here for tonight's race will be Jared Grodzicki alongside Michael Deach.
Starting in 21st tonight will be the driver of the 73. It's Joseph McWhorter. Hard to beat. He has a long way to get to the front. Alongside William Owens in the 30 car. Let's see how he's able to handle Texas this week. You got Daniel Llewellyn in the 23 car. Great qualifying effort for that team. We'll see if he's able to get a good finish out of it alongside Tanner Marty in the 29, starting 24th. 25th, Cliff Mullins in the 44 car. And Bill Hull in the 76 America 250th birthday race car right there, 26th place. Starting in 27th will be Brandon Hunsinger in that 92 car alongside Dustin Hall in the 1 car, who cannot wait for an interview, according to chat. Interesting character. Then you got 29th place, Devin Medeiros, going to be in that 20 car, and starting in 30th will be Mason Lowry in the 42. And starting in the 31st place spot will be Tim Phillips alongside Steve Benjamin. These guys got a long way to go, but I'm sure they can move their way towards the front. Got Cody Bird there in the 15th, starting 33rd. And Wesley Napier has a way longer way to go, starting back in 34th, trying to make their way to the front. Dead last today. That is all of our starters. As right now, the cars, yep, you guessed it right. They are getting ready to get on the grid. We're about to get this thing underway. And I got to ask Ron here. I don't know if Ron's mic is working or not. I think he might be. Yeah, there he is. He's here. We got 45 laps in this first stage. 90 to stage 2, and 5 sets of tires. But the incident limit's at 13x. So I got to ask you, Ron, what do you think this whole beginning of this race is going to be? You think it's just going to get settled out? Is it going to be chaotic trying to get to the front? What do you think's going to happen here, Ron?
I think the thing with Texas is it is such a unique racetrack in the realm of tracks that look, virtually identical to it. You look at the shape, you think, okay, it's the same of the likes of Atlanta. It's so similar to Charlotte. But no, when you actually take a look at the banking and the way this racetrack races, it's a lot tougher to manage. This is a track that can really bite a driver's head off if you look at some of the turns the wrong way. So I would say these drivers should probably tackle these opening stages as a matter of survival, not because of the tire sets. I think that's somewhat manageable here, even in the Texas sun. It's that incident limit of 13x. That, around here, that can go by in the blink of an eye. Would not be shocked if we have some incident point violations by the end of tonight's race.
Well, folks, guess what? Right here, you can see your Dash for Cash at the top of your screen. You got Dyson, Lowry, Hixenbaugh, Kluot all going for that Dash for Cash, trying to get a little bit of money in their back pocket. I wish them the best luck in their endeavor. Cars are on the racetrack, and we are now 2 laps to green as the cars roll out in turns 1 and 2 for the first time today. Whew, man, it's always a pretty sight once you get all the cars out here on the racetrack. Not necessarily a full field today, but get ourselves a pretty decent sized field. About 34 cars out there on the racetrack as we are talking at the moment. And going into Texas, it's one of those places that can just really be a clean and green track, or it's going to be an absolute chaotic wreck fest. You never really know. It depends on the drivers and how they want to navigate it. But some cars to watch throughout today. I can tell you right now, there's a few that come to mind whenever I'm looking at this starting lineup. Number 1, Wesley Napier, starting 34th. I've seen him have some speed over the last few weeks, and I think if that 95 can avoid the trouble starting dead last, might be able to move his way all the way through the field and get towards the top 10, probably by the end of stage 2. That would be my guess. Keep an eye on that Napier car if he's able to avoid the trouble. Another car that I think that you guys want to keep your eye on here tonight, Eric Wineland. He's starting in 16th, that 21 car. He's been fast in that drafted car 2 paint scheme all year long. Hasn't really quite had a good winning speed quite yet, but you never know with these racetracks. Any driver in this field has a chance to do it if they bring the right stuff, and you can just see a couple rows behind them. That 73 is always fast. He's always towards the front. Last year's champion, Joseph McCorder, he's going to be a guy to try and beat. But as we come through 1 and 2, right before we get the start of this thing, Ron, who's your driver you're going to pick before we get this thing started?
Ooh, and that is a real tough question. I'm going to be honest, I feel like it's a kind of like Bryson Hixenbaugh sort of night. I don't know why. It's just, there's something speaking out to me. He's had a good start to the season, don't get me wrong, but I feel like by Bryson Hixenbaugh standards, at least compared to last season, it's been a somewhat slow start to this campaign. He's also one of the Dash for Cash drivers tonight, along with Andrew Dyson, Mason Lowry, and Blake Kluot. So keep an eye on him to maybe try and get another win this season and potentially a $100 cash bonus in the process.
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. Going through turns 3 and 4. Reach down, pull them belts tight one more time. From Texas for the Friday Night Light Series, Andrew Dyson is on the pole. Blake Kluot to his outside. Pace cars diving down into the pit lane. And they are about to get these things rumbling through that restart zone. Buggity, buggity, buggity. Let's go racing, boys. Down the back straightaway for the first time today, you can see Dyson take the early advantage. Blake Kluot falls in behind as you can see Hixenbaugh pulling into third. As coming out of turn number 4, it looks like Andrew Dyson is going to lead lap number 1.
Yeah, so good start for Dyson, the usual stand-at star in the full-length Cup Challenge. Already a pretty good contender here in these cars, too. Look at him trying to run that 41 car as quickly as he can. Blake Kluot, though, really standing out to me as well in that 14 machine, holding on to second. Hixenbaugh in third, side-by-side racing right behind your top 4. That's currently rounded out by Lucas Hoytma. That's Aiden Amara and Daniel Wiles looking to run here. Wiles has had a pretty good run so far this season. Keep an eye on that Team Conti number 88 machine to try and make up some moves.
No doubt about it, but Aiden Amaro, kind of a new driver to this series, hasn't really been around that much up towards the front, but this week he's got himself a rocket ship. He's right now trying to make that outside line work, trying to take fourth place away from Lucas Hoitzma. They're on the top side. It looks like he's going to get the job done early in the run, and he will settle in fourth place as the entirety of the top 10 is now single file, going all the way back to the top 20, back to 21st, where Daniel Llewellyn and Dustin Hall and William Owens are battling for position.
As Joseph McWhorter, a little bit quick, farther in the back, saw his name briefly go purple. As there you can see, that's Seth Foudy starting from pit lane there. So already on the back foot before we even get done with the first lap. Already heading our way up to lap 5 now here, Kirk. And looks like everybody is just, taking it easy, kind of relaxed at the moment. I'm a bit surprised. I was expecting these drivers just to, go for the jugular from the get-go, but not really seeing that at the moment. These drivers somewhat calm and relaxed.
Yeah, right now that 88's kind of under fire. He got passed by Hoitzma, and now the 71 trying to make the outside line work on a pass for him. Not quite enough this early on, but you're going to see this all day where drivers are going to be just trying to get to the bottom, try to save as much tire as you can. But it looks like there's a single groove racetrack, but take a look at who's trying to get up towards the top 15. Joseph McWhorter just made a move on the outside of the 10 car. And now on the outside of Ryan Von Hinchel side by side, and he's moving his way towards the front.
Yeah, so already making up some time, making up some places. I think we can read into this a decent amount, Kirk, because I'm not sure exactly how things will evolve too greatly here. I think, granted, they will evolve. This is one of those tracks that definitely gets better as time rolls along, but I think we can just look a little bit more into the pace here in the early stages than you would at most tracks of side-by-side racing here. Between Noah Woods and Bryce Reiner side-by-side as well. Between, that's Ryan Von Henschel on the inside of Matthew Boston Wheeler in that 10 car. Matthew Boston Wheeler has been an interesting driver to follow throughout this campaign. He's currently running in 14th right now. I think he's had a mixed season, shall we say, Kirk.
Yeah, the last 2 years, really. The only thing I'd say for that Matthew Boston Wheeler character is he's got to be able to keep his car underneath him today. Try to not get into too much trouble. But right now, again, that 73's on a move. He's making a move this time to the inside of Michael Deach, who's also having a pretty great start for his day. He also just got to keep the car underneath him, and I think he'll have a decent finish if he's able to do that. The cars that I was mentioning that would go to the front are that 73's moving forward. You also got the 21 moving towards the front. That's Eric Wineland. And how is the car that started dead last today, you may ask? He is already up 10 positions. Wesley Napier up to 24th since the dropped the green flag.
So look at that, cutting your way through the field like a hot knife through butter here in Texas. That's a good start here. Again, these drivers, I just mentioned a few moments ago, I think you can really take a little bit with you. It may not be a full representation of how you're going to be later on in this race, but there's certainly something worth being proud about if you can run the pace, run the numbers, and really gas up and go here in these early stages. Drivers looking to get moves done throughout the pack, as here's a fight currently with Casey Graves and Jacob Simpson. This is a squabble for 8th place at the moment. Simpson, who's been another very fascinating driver to keep our eyes on throughout this campaign. He won at Atlanta earlier on this season, shown some really good pace, and I think he's going to look to try and just string together some more solid results. I feel like it's really just been checkers or wreckers with that number 22, maybe looking to get another solid batch of results as a bit of a mediator there.
We'll find out today for sure where they all stack up, but I can tell you right now, if you look at this whole field from a stationary camera, you're going to start seeing these cars. It's just single file for most of this field. Watch this. So you're going to see them all come by. Some cars might take a slightly higher line, not much being gained here and there, but it's mostly single file all the way through this pack. And it's just, there's no real room to pass right now. I think folks have just gotten settled into a rhythm. Whenever we were talking about it at the top of the show here, Ron, we wanted to find out whether these guys are going to be trying to move their way towards the front or trying to get calmed down. It looks like the majority of the field is kind of just, settled in. But that 22 car, he is on a move. He's trying to go up to the outside of the 88 this time around Daniel Wiles, moving up yet another spot for Jacob Simpson.
Yeah, so some bravery being shown by Jacob Simpson. I think it's a mix of bravery as well as confidence. You gotta be confident to try and get a move done here at Texas. Know exactly, okay, this car is quick. I know it's quick. Let me try and get this move done. Also helps out Wiles with a bit of a wiggle all through the turn as Simpson finally cleared. That's going to allow Casey Graves now to try and tackle him. So the driver of the number 88 car currently holding on to 8th. Now going to desperately try and cling on to that spot for dear life as Jacob Simpson also very flirtatious with Hunter Troll at the moment, trying to get a move done there as well. That's a battle for 6th and 7th. Gen Alpha going to have a field day with that one, and Simpson looks like he's going to try and pull off the move on Troll like he did on Wiles one lap ago. Will he be able to clear him as they head their way out of turn number 4? Side by side as they head their way on exit. I think Troll's given a bit more of a fight than Wiles did last time around, but as they head their way across the stripe, Simpson comfortably ahead, and he clears him into 1. That 22 car, not only confident, but quick.
Moving forward, and the thing is, right now the cars are shuffled. All right, like the qualifying times, they're not necessarily raced. They're not necessarily the times that people run in race trim. So when they go out there and run qualifying, it's kind of wild to think how they're doing. Oh, that 88's loose. Hang on to it there, Wiles. 88 has been going the wrong direction since the start. That 88 car started the day in, ninth, but he's moved forward, but he's also dropped back since the start. It's odd. He's gotten passed by a few cars. It says he started ninth, so it's weird because we saw him as high as 5th at one point. So he moved forward, and then something's happening to where he's falling back. But as the cars start to settle out where they may, you're going to see that some cars will have speed early in the run, some will lose that speed and constantly try to gain it back. One of the drivers, again, that I wanted to mention since the top of the show is McWhorter. He's already caught up to the back of the 5-car Bryce Reiner, and he is right now trying to get into the top 10. If he's able to make that pass and get up there, it just shows that this guy has speed, and if he has some clean air, he might be able to go even higher. And Napier is up 13 spots from where he started. So, yeah, both cars on the move forward.
Yeah, Wesley Napier certainly showing that he's got some good speed here tonight. McWhorter doing that as well. Joseph McWhorter, your reigning champion, still looking to try and break through and become a race winner here this season. Yeah, he's been quick. Just lost down the championship points lead after the last races. They're 3 wide, heading their way out of turn number 4. That right there was Wiles making a little bit of contact there with Simpson, who blows both of their doors off, Wiles and Amaro, and jumps his way up into 5th.
Yeah, Aiden Amaro got up into the outside wall off turn 2, and whenever that contact happened, the 22 and the 88 kind of had to take an evasive maneuver, and that's where that contact came in. 32 was running in 4th for a long time, but Aiden Amaro going the wrong way as Hicksonball's going the right way, going for 2nd on Blake Kluot. He's going to get that pass done on the exit of turn number 2.
Yeah, so a little bit of battling going on up towards the front of this field, side by side. Amaro and Wiles trying to settle down and figure out who's going to be running in 6th, who's going to be running behind, and who is going to have to feel the burn from Bryce Reiner. If they don't settle their stuff out here soon, though, Reiner is going to apply pressure on the both of them simultaneously. Amaro with a sideways wiggle on the high side as he headed his way into 1. Going to have to back out of that a little bit, I think, as Wiles actually drifted up a little bit there. You can see that car's all over the place. How's the mix of both being loose and tight? It looked like they're cookie sheets under all 4 tires in that 88 machine.
Something's off on that 88 car. It just seems real loose. He might need to make some adjustments when he comes down pit road. Bryce Reiner, though, is moving the right direction. That 5 car, the longer he's run, the better his car has looked. He's now up to 6th place. He was in 10th just a couple laps ago. Moving up more and more spots. Now, look at that. Look to the inside. Casey Graves there. They're going to be 3 wide here coming out of the corner. 88 Wiles in the middle again. And look at who's on those 3's tail. McWhorter has caught them. Sitting P10 right now, just waiting for the right moment to get around all 3 of them. And the 71, though, of Hunter Truel has actually gone the wrong way. 71 was up in the top 10 a little bit ago, but has lost that ground and is now outside of the top 10.
Yeah, so we're on some good pace at the moment. It has been settled down for many, but the 71, just sinking down. Not even like a stone thrown into a pond or an anvil pushed out of a helicopter, pretty much sinking down like the Titanic. I think that he's going to look to try and get a bit of buoyancy, even just hold on to a spot near or around the top 10. That would probably be the best case scenario in this situation for him right now. Actually, one little thing that I do want to bring up as we see the racing develop here, as we get towards that halfway mark here in stage number 1. Howie pulled up the graphic a bit earlier on saying how there are more Fords in this race than there are in the real life race this upcoming weekend. There are more Fords found in a GM factory than there will be out there on the racetrack for the O'Reilly's race tomorrow.
Never thought I'd see the day. Now, side by side, you can see Reiner here making another move on Jacob Simpson for the 22. That 5 car going for 5th place. He's been moving forward in the last 10 laps really successfully. And same thing with the 63 for 2nd place. He's coming up to the back bumper of the leader up front. He's there. He's going to make a move here any second for the lead up here. Bryson Hixenbaugh, P1. Let's see if we can get a camera up there. He's on the back bumper here. He's all over. He's waiting for the right moment to strike on Dyson. Here he goes.
Ooh, yeah, low slip up there from Dyson. That's going to allow Hixenbaugh to establish dominance on that inside line side by side as they head their way across the stripe. Will Hixenbaugh dive it? Is he going to risk it for the biscuit? Yes, he will. And with a sideways snap, a small little wiggle that he corrects immediately. Hixenbaugh, now your leader. And Andrew Dyson in an unfamiliar position, now with some dirty air on the front end of that 41. Will he be able to hold pace, or is he going to start to sink down? Let's find out.
Good pass for Hixenbaugh again. Your pick this at the very start of the race. You picked Hixenbaugh to win this thing. He's up front now, and he's probably going to run away with it. He's got that clean air. You know Hixenbaugh, he's able to hang on to it and do well. Now he's just hoping for no late race cautions to throw wrenches and things.
See, my problem with that prediction that I made about Bryson Hixenbaugh is my predictions usually age like milk in the Nevada sun. So I am not counting my chickens before they hatch.
Well, all right. I got to tell you right now here, Ron, it's starting to get spread out. We got to get a lap 45. That's the first stage. You can see, you're looking right now on your screen at that 88 car. Wiles making a resurgence after he had his problems early in the run. He's doing better now, getting back up to the top 6 again. I think some drivers are faring better than others, like a Morrow in the 32 car. He was running in 4th place just a handful of laps ago, but now he's running P11s, falling backwards, going the wrong direction. And the longer this race goes, we're going to start seeing some cars that are quick in the short run do really, really well and then fall off, as you can see right now. Look at this. Blake Kluot drops back to 4th. Hoytsma moves up to 3rd. Another change in position, but that 14 car is not done. He's still pressuring that 97, trying to go for 3rd place again on the inside.
Yeah, so the battling not done and not settled between these 2 drivers. Battling for 3rd, Hoytsma clears him as they head their way into 1 and 2. Kluot having to back out of it, and Bryce Reiner going to apply a bit of pressure. From there, it's 0.6 of a second between Reiner and Daniel Wiles, as a little bit of wall contact there for Blake Kluot. Really good run for him here this season, currently holding on to 4th in this race. I think if you can hold on to it, even if it isn't that Dash for Cash prize at the end of the day, that would still be a very good result for that driver of the 41 car. I think at the moment, we're just looking for a big break, and I think that break may come here tonight. Looking at Aiden Amaro, who was battling inside the top 10 not too long ago, now finds himself in a 3-car battle with himself, Hunter Truex up in front, and Eric Wineland, who's now on the inside of him, heading off through 3 and 4. Is he going to try and get a move done here? I believe he will. Small little bit of wall contact there from Aiden Amaro, and he's now going to try and battle it out as that's going on. We also have to keep an eye on Bryce Reiner and Blake Kluot. I was wondering what was going to go down with Kluot now that he was starting to sink down. Well, it turns out that sinking has not stopped. Just contact there between the 21 and the 32. Amaro going to hold on to 13th as Bryce Reiner just jumped up into 4th, and Kluot really starting to struggle out there. So too Casey Graves from the looks of it. He's dropped down to 10th.
Looking at it here, I can tell you that Bryce Reiner has been on a mission ever since like lap 20 hit. He went from 10th place now all the way up to 4th in just a matter of laps. He has been saving his tires, taking care of his stuff, and it's working out for him now, sitting in the top 5 spot. But I'm starting to see a little bit of a gaggle of cars getting close to each other. Everyone from behind Ryan Von Hinchel in the 2 car on back to, I believe that is Matthew Boston Wheeler, I think, is kind of in this little zone where they are kind of going to be stuck together. I'm seeing this kind of stack up thing happening for that group, as well as further in front as well for the top 2 on back to like maybe 7.
So at the moment, you can see pretty much the whole field is split between those who have lost out on a lot of time and those who've been able to make up a lot of time. It's pretty much just nothing in between. We got a little battle going on here right now. I was wondering how Andrew Dyson was going to cope with the dirty air, and now we know Hoytsma all over him like the plastic on Grandma's couch. Going to look for it around the outside into 1 and 2. This is going to get spicy here. Hoytsma trying to keep that momentum rolling. Dyson desperately clinging on for second and trying not to lose touch with your leader. He's going to lose out on that spot. Hoytsma clears him into 3.
Cars are single filed out, and you're still seeing some changes in position, but very small. Bryce Reiner is going to take that 3rd place spot away from Andrew Dyson again. Take a look at this. 5 cars still on the march forward, but they 41 ain't going to give up on it. He goes down, takes the line away. 5 is going to have to find another way around, maybe use a front bumper. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like he'll do that. A little bit of teammate action right there. He's going to make his way down to the bottom, and this time I think he's going to make that pass here in 3 and 4. The further back you look, the more you're starting to see the cream rise to the top. The drivers who you expect to be up here for the finish of this race. I think the ones to beat are up front right now. You got Hicksaball, Hoytsma, Reiner, and I think that, honestly, those 3 cars are just the best in the field so far. Nobody else has really stood out as a big, long-run speed quite yet, but those 3 are going to be hard to beat this afternoon.
Side by side now, Andrew Dyson looks like he's going to fall out of the podium spots as we're now 11 laps, make that 10 laps away from the fall of the green and white checker here in stage 1. Oh, well, there we go. There's Dyson back. I was like, oh, that looks like a very clean shot, and there's that 41 car popping into existence once again there. The UFOs out in full force once again here in Texas. I haven't been down to Texas in my life. I have been to Florida, but I was a pequeño back then. I was, about 7 months old when I went down there as an infant to see my grandmother. I haven't been to Texas. I heard that if you buy a bottle of whiskey, you get a free gun with it.
Things you learn from Ron here, ladies and gentlemen. Good God. All right. Well, I can tell you right now that 88. Yeah, well, I guess so. I don't drink, but 88 car, Daniel Wiles just made a pass on Blake Kluot, moving his way forward. You can see the 73 car I've been talking about since the start of the race. 22 just hit the wall for no reason down the back. But that's 73 in the quarter. Moving forward again, he's moving up to the 7th place spot, trying to chase down Blake Kluot, Daniel Wiles. As just the longer we run, some folks are able to make passes, others just not able to keep the speed under the car for a long period of time. And there's a huge gap, by the way, in the field right now that I just got to bring up. From 6th place, Aiden Amaro on back. You got Kyle Ammon 3 seconds further back from that. And then another 4 seconds back, Michael Deach running 11 seconds behind the leaders. And the leaders, in comparison to where those guys are, they're half a track behind. You're looking right now at Ryan Von Hinchel, the 22 of Jacob Simpson, and the 73 of Joseph McCorder. This is a battle again for 7th place. And that 73 made the pass earlier and is still trying to move forward, but the side-by-side battle behind them still rages on right now.
Yeah, side-by-side battling still going down. These drivers just trying to get into each other's heads at the moment. That's the 2 and the 22. Jacob Simpson looking to get a string of good results rolling here in the mid-portion, and that 2 of Ryan Von Henschel with a huge sideways snap heading through turn number 4. Thought he was going to loop it around. I think it's fair to say that 2 car has had a tumultuous run so far in the first 11 races here this season. But, as we get into the middle third of this campaign, I think it's looking to turn over a new page. If you can hold on to, P9 and get a good result out of this, I think that'd be real good. You can see Noah Woods getting quite flirtatious with that outside barrier there in the back of shot, trying to give himself a panic attack.
Yeah, right side did not like getting hit like that. Not a good feeling at all. Running P10 right now, just trying to hang on to a top 10 spot. This is all 5 seconds behind the leader. who right now actually I think is in a pretty comfortable position. He has a whole second over second place, and then a second and a half back to third, about 3/10 further back for fourth, and then 2.5 seconds back to fifth. So no one in the same zip code as Bryson Hixenball this week, as we got side-by-side battle again. These two just don't seem to quit racing each other too hard. And I kind of like to think that these guys have a similar style of racing in their heads. Very aggressive drivers, Von Henschel and Jacob Simpson. Not a bad thing, but it is fun to watch when they're on the racetrack next to each other because they just don't quit.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much that never give up, never surrender kind of attitude that they have here in these races. Makes it real fun to watch from our perspective here in the booth as they continue to fight. Joseph McWhorter's rear bumper, got a fantastic view of it right there. I kind of like those shots when you get to see just like a little different perspective of it all. See the drivers slide around this racetrack and see Ryan Von Henschel slide his way up into P8. A little bit of slide as he added his way out of that turn to finally clear him. That was a nice move there from Ryan Von Henschel. Right now, I think looking through this pack as we get towards the end of the stage here, I can't say I'm too surprised that many of these drivers have been taking it a bit on the easier end. Again, talking about that incident limit of 13, that is very low, and that could disappear in the blink of an eye, especially here at Texas. It certainly makes sense why some of these drivers are a little bit more on the cautious side as we get today's race up and rolling. Tonight's race, I should say. It is today if you're in Hawaii. Or Alaska.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, or it's the morning for Howie in the UK. Yeah, Howie, what ungodly hour is it? About 1 o'clock in the morning for you? I think 2. About to hit 2. Howie Burrows, ladies and gentlemen. I would not be caught dead being on the air at 2 o'clock in the morning. I've done that before, and those have also been the shows where I sounded slightly insane.
Well, I do got to say before we get to the end of this thing, Bryson Hixenball just crossed the line to get 2 laps to go in this stage. They got to get to lap 45 here. So let's try and keep things under wraps here. Let's see if we can get a camera on Hixenball just to show you how much of a gap this guy has gained. If we can. You can see right here, that 63 car is absolutely just a second and a half over the rest of the field. He's doing something that's just typical for him. He's in the final lap of his stage, and you can see that gap. They're trying to chase him down, Hoytsma is, but he's just not able to do it, as he's going to be catching up to some lap traffic on the outside right now. He's going to be there shortly. I don't think he's going to be able to reach him, but that 63 car heading into turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage number 1 is going to easily come to the front and win stage number 1 when he crosses the stripe.
And so Hixenball, it's just carrying on the momentum that he has here this season. We talked about him maybe not having the best start to this campaign. He's still your champion. Well, he's not your championship points leader, but he's pretty darn close to it. Only like 8 points behind heading into this race.
Well, you can see your stage 2 results here on your screen. Hixenball gets the top spot. Hoytsma, Reiner, Dyson, Wiles, Kluot, McWhorter, Von Henschel, Woods, and Simpson round out your top 10 runners today. And there's a lot of cars out there, but guess what? All of them are still on the lead lap. That is the good news here, as it looks like we're going to have some pit stops and we might take a break here. So just give us a second here as they're catching up to the pace car. No doubt everybody's going to come down for 4 tires and a full tank of gas. When we come back, we will get the green flag to start stage number 2. You're watching Maconi Entertainment, the Friday Night Lights series here from Texas Motor Speedway.
And welcome back, everybody, to our coverage here on Maconi Entertainment of the Friday Night Lights series. Stage 1 already in the books. Stage 2 about to get up and rolling here. Bryson Hixenball was your dominant leader in that stage after he took it from Andrew Dyson, who grabbed that torch and ran away with it in the opening portion of that stage. Things really settled down in Bryson Hixenball's favor. Look at Lucas Hoytsma, though, slotted up in a second. You know, looking back on that stage there, Kirk, Hoytsma had a real good charge as we got towards the end. I don't know why. Maybe this is just a hunch, a feeling. Call me Nostradamus, call me a fool, whatever you want to. People usually call me the latter instead of the former. I think that Hoytsma may be a little thorn in the side to Hixenball here tonight.
Well, that's only if he can get the clean air. Clean air is going to be everything. At this track, I mean, we just saw a first stage that looked about as entertaining as like watching the ducks at the park. Sure, it's nice, it's cool, but you know, there ain't no like duck fights going on or anything crazy. It was all right. It was fun to watch. But looking at stage 2, I think we might get more of the same. Clean air is going to mean a lot. But now the drivers have shuffled to where the long run cars are towards the front. So that means the cars that are able to go further don't have to deal with the traffic that were a little slower. And it's just a matter of time to see what adjustments those cars towards the back made to try and make their cars better. We'll see if anything works out for them. But again, this restart's going to be pretty chaotic and probably going to be the main part of the show. Let's keep an eye on it. Trying to get settled in. Here we go out of turn number 4. Doubled up, getting ready for the restart. Hixenball, Hoytsma on the front row. Feel like I've said that 100 times before. Those two are always up front. Pace cars in through that restart zone and going anytime from here to here. Here we go. Got on the gas and we're back underway. No checkups through the field. We are good to go.
Running smooth, heading down into turn number 1 and 2. Hixenball punching out to the race lead. Hoytsma looking for second. He's going to hold on to it. Bryce Reiner now is in third as the field stacked up a little bit right behind. This is the time to pounce, and everybody knows that. That's the reason why they're throwing caution to the wind as we get stage 2 rolling.
For sure, still side by side for multiple positions throughout the field. And it's only going to continue like that. Trying to get settled in. You can see the top 3 have, but that outside line, Dyson, is just stuck up top. Can't do much with it as McWhorter now is moving up into the 6th place spot. Remember, he started towards mid-pack, but has been moving forward ever since, along with Eric Wineland, another car I said to watch at the beginning of the race. And these guys have just been marching towards the front since the beginning. 3 wide, look out, contact. Oh, there he goes. Oh, no, he saved it. Holy cow, he saved the car. How did he do that? I thought he was gone.
Yeah, I thought I was about to have to read out an obituary as they are still on top of each other. Let's take a look at this replay here. See, I said on top of each other. This guy ended tears. Says, "Oh my goodness!"
I thought he was gone. I really thought he was gone. He hit him right in the spot that normally the point of no return. Can't save the car, but he sure did. Eric Wineland's a wheel man. Here comes the quarter.
That is the envelope of doom on the back of these race cars, ain't it?
Yeah, I don't know about that. All I do know is that McWhorter character just got into the top 4 right now. He made a pass on Wiles, and now Wiles is under fire from Kluot.
Yeah, we're getting real spicy right now. About as spicy as the time that I've been into a jalapeno. Got my tongue stuck to an ice pack. Hixenball driving away as it's a little bit stacked up behind. Hoytsma, Reiner, McWhorter, Wiles, Kluot, all pretty much on top of each other, not having to worry about any more cars. But thankfully for them, if they had to worry about any more cars, I think something would maybe break and it would end in tears. Look at Blake Kluot trying to sweep around the outside of Daniel Wiles, heading off into turn number 1. Try and sweep around, get that move. Will he be able to make it work? Yes, he will. He clears him down the backstretch, side by side as well. Wineland and the 2 of Ryan Van Henschel. Van Henschel gets very close to the back of that 21 car. Avoids making contact as they headed their way off through 3 and 4. Gotta be keeping my eyes on those 2 because I don't think they want to have a repeat of what happened a few laps ago. I certainly won't.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to be fun to watch. But look at that 73. He just moved up to 3rd place. I told you That 73 car's got speed week in and week out. Mid-pack qualifying's a little unusual for him, but now he's made his way back to the top 3, exactly where we expect to see that 73 towards the front. And now he's trying to chase down Hoytsma if he can do it.
Battling still going on as Hicksonball's got to look to try and grab a hold of that torch and run away with things here in this second stage. Again, running to the end of lap 90. So these drivers just now trying to get the bearings straight. Side-by-side racing still continues throughout the pack. They haven't single fouled out quite yet, as that was Andrew Dyson looking to get some moves done after starting this race from the pole. Sunk down a little bit, now looking to bounce up like a buoy as there's some sirens going on right outside my window. Right there. They nearly flew wide as they had their way up to the trial.
Some contact. They got a little loose. We're going to have to take a look at that, see what the heck happened there. But that was some dangerous driving all around in that section. Let's take a look at it. They're still beating and banging.
Hey,
actually, Von Hinchel just absolutely made the one car real loose at live right now. The 2 car just got into the back of the 21. This is not over. I think Ryan's not happy with that 21 car. He's all over the back bumper. I don't like what's going to happen here. It didn't look good before.
Yeah, I really do not. I think that 2 needs to settle down. We've talked about the rough start to this campaign that he has had, and it's small little moments like this, just kind of letting the temper get the better of him, that leads to stuff going down so far. Had a string of multiple disqualifications. Just needs to take it easy. 13 X's. These little bits of contact, they add up after a while, and look at that hang down the back straight away.
That was a big block. 21. Exactly. That's what I was talking about. It was a big block from the 21. 2 car didn't necessarily like the block, so he just followed him in and gave him a little shot. Didn't wreck him. Just beating and banging. It's racing. Right now, he doesn't like it, and neither does the 21. None of them like it, but it's no cars facing the wrong direction. And during the course of all this, that 10 car Matthew Boston Wheeler is gotten side by side with the 2, and not for long, though, that 2 car is gaining that spot right back.
You know, if that contact hang down to the turn was pretty much entirely caused by the contact that was made in the block heading down the back end of the circuit, me personally, I would consider that to be on the same level as hanging a guy for shoplifting. But hey, I did race control for a period of time. Now I just talk about the drivers because race control is one of the most thankless jobs in all of sim racing, even in real life racing as well. The amount of mental aptitude that you have to get screamed at by a driver for giving them a penalty is God bless race control. Doesn't matter what series it is, God bless race control. Unless it's ones that give a 60-second penalty to an LMP2 car that just went for a move at VIR. Of course, I'm speaking generally.
Well, looking at your top 5 right now, you got a 14 Kluot all over the back bumper. Reiner making him pass for the 4th place spot up towards the front. He's side by side, making a move to the inside. Kluot's making that pass work on the bottom, and he will make that pass up to 4th place, goes to 14.
It's a very specific reference that only 2/3 of the broadcast booth got, because 2/3 of the broadcast booth was around for it and saw the anguish that came out of that call. Not touching any of it. Side-by-side racing, though, this is still getting spicy. Kluot and Bryce Reiner, I think they've been some of the quicker cars here tonight, but they haven't been on that same level as the likes of Hicksonball, McWhorter, and Hoytsma right up in front. They have been strong, very strong, I would say. They just haven't had that, like, X factor to make them a top contender. So right now, I have got to wonder whether Kluot and Reiner are gonna start to battle, and because right now, if they start to battle as hard as they are right now and keep it rolling for some time, those top 3 just gotta check out.
He's trying to make another pass down to the inside, but look at this. 2nd place changed hands. He got McWhorter, moved up to 2nd place, got past Hoytsma, and now that 73 is trying to chase down Hicksonball. That's your new top 3. It's Hicksonball, McWhorter, and Hoytsma. There are the 3 that you want to keep your eye on right now. As behind them, there's just 4 cars waiting in the wings. Kluot, Reiner, Wiles, and Truel. You can see that there. As Aiden Amaro in the 32 car has been recovering ever since his initial start of the race fallback. He's now moved up to 8th place just behind the 71 car.
middle portion of this second stage, coming up to 20 laps already being done here in stage 2, you're starting to see these drivers really come into their true form. Drivers starting to bring in more pace, bring in more pressure on their rivals. McWhorter and Hoytsma side by side for second here. McWhorter looking to continue on the strong form that he has had so far in this race. Make up the time, make up the places. Hoytsma looking to have a good night here as well. But that 14 car of Blake Kluot is, I wouldn't say he's an underdog here in this race. Well, certainly compared to your reigning champion of Joseph McWhorter, reigning FLCC champion of Lucas Hoytsma, and Bryson Ixelbaugh, who won 7 races last season, and under this current format that we're running here this year, probably would have been a champion back in 2025. So the fact he's rattling these drivers' cages and really giving them a tough time really speaks of Blake Kluot's comfort around this place and the speed that he is showing here tonight. This is well-composed driving from the 14.
Absolutely. He tried to make a pass there on the 73, didn't work out for him, and he actually lost a position doing that. Now the 5 car, Reiner, trying to make a pass for 3rd place, moving to the inside. He gets the job done, and now Kluot tries to follow suit. He's going to be side by side with that 73. I think that the point of no return has been crossed for the 73. His tires are now worn out to the point where he cannot maintain anymore. He is going to be under fire and probably going back for the next little while. If he can get a caution, it would help him out a lot, but we haven't seen any chance of that all day today. Very rarely have we had any sort of contact throughout the field.
Yeah, I think the closest we got to that was that little schism, shall we say, between the other 21 and the 2. Outside of that, these drivers have been keeping it composed, keeping it clean. This is one of those tracks where it's not really the contact with the cars that can put you dangerously close to, or maybe
caution's out. There's the caution right there. Thrown the yellow. Oh, Jesse Winslow. Wow. Perfect timing for the 73, but Jesse Winslow goes around and turns 1 and 2. Let's see what happened here on lap 68. Just one short of a fun lap. Let's see what happens here. 35 goes to the inside. And this is... Oh, wow. It looks fine. Oh, the 35 just overdrove the corner, and 59 just overcorrected into the outside wall, and that will bring out the first yellow for incident today. That 35 car is Michael Mesnard. Oh, would you look at that? There was contact prior. So if we go back a little further one more time, you're going to see on the entry, the 35 and the 59 are going to make contact. They're side by side. Maybe the 59 doesn't realize it and comes down. Yes, 35 does, gets a little loose. And 35's not happy about it, stays in the gas a little bit, goes up, makes contact, and they both go around.
Yeah, no, there's a rhyme and reason for that. Now, I don't believe that Michael Mesnard did that intentionally. Yeah, you can see he was still trying to get a grips with that race car by the time the contact, the second bit of contact, I should say, was made. That initial hit, it just upsets you really badly. You know, you think about the history of this place at Texas, the transitions from the tri-oval into the banks are kind of just notorious for being quite rough. Even in this version of the track, back in the day, they had to redesign this place like 5 times in the first decade of its operation just because the transitions were too abrupt. Even today, it's really rough. So a little bit of contact heading through there, and you can forget it. Your car is going to be driving like a tin can.
Well, I do want to go ahead and mention real quick, we have a couple cars that are surprising to see on pit road. Hunter Truel, Blake Kluot. You got Aiden Amaro there, Hunter Truel. A couple guys that are just a little unexpected to see them head down pit road. But now that they have gone down pit road, not very many are going to stay out. I think that the main course that we're going to see is folks just trying to, take care of their stuff now that they had a chance to run those laps. What I'm looking at right now is the fall off. Looking at, say, up front, that car that's leading right now, Hicksonball's fall off. That'd be a good way to look at this. From the green flag at the beginning of stage number 1, let's actually go with this second stage here. From lap 51 all the way down until lap 68, there is multiple seconds of fall off. So now possibly a chance that those folks came down pit road might be able to make their way to the field and maybe might be able to come away with a stage win if they're lucky enough and have the speed to be able to do it.
Yeah, so rather interesting call here to do that pit stop now. And 5 tire sets allotted to these racers, so I think they have that sort of ability to do that. And with how uncommon it has been to see an incident take place here, that's I gotta say, I think I'm a fan of that call. That is a good point that you bring up there, Kirk, talking about the tire fall off and everything. Of course, again, 5 tire sets, so it does work out quite well. I would usually say save it a little bit later on. Maybe these drivers were hoping for some more incidents, some more yellows. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out smelling like a bed of roses, but maybe those drivers who just came down pit lane, they could be the heroes after all. We'll have to find out.
Getting ready for the restart, heading down the back straightaway. You can see your top group has changed very little. Bryce Reiner, McWhorter, Hoytsma, and Hixenball up towards the front. A couple cars that have surprised me today. Matthew Boston Wheeler sitting P8. Ryan Von Hinchel in 7th. Having great days to start their Texas view. And I got to tell you right now, we'll see if that's able to continue throughout the run. I'd like to see that continue. It's definitely a great run for those two today. Here we go through turns 3 and 4. Getting ready to get this restart back underway. Hixenball again. Up towards the front. That pace car is going to go ahead out of turn number 4 and dive down into the pit lane as Hixenball is going to lead them on down. You're looking at the front end of Reiner from the back of the 63 through the restart zone. We are back underway.
Once again, a fantastic restart there from Hixenball. It's oval racing on iRacing. The leader's usually going to get off to a fantastic start. Gotta wonder if iRacing will ever close that sort of loophole that these drivers can exploit week in and week out. But taking a look now, side-by-side racing still very close between the 73 and the 5. Now the 41 of Andrew Dyson, who started up at the front, then dropped down like a rock, looking to lift himself up like a helium balloon.
Drivers you're going to want to keep an eye on for this restart is the 14 car, who's going to have to make his way through the whole field to try and get towards the front as they're side-by-side for 3rd to 73 on the top. And you can see that 14 car on fresh tires. He's going to be taking it 3 wide. He's going to try everything he can to try and gain as many spots as he can in a short period of time. He needs to make quick work of these cars towards the back. Same thing with Aiden Amano in the 32. He's doing the same exact strategy. Keep an eye on both of them as he's probably going to sit it 3 wide, maybe. Nope, stays right behind the 17. Still 2 wide for this 3rd place spot, though. You can see McWhorter on the top and the 5 car on the bottom. The top 2 have scooted away from this battle because of the side-by-side, and it looks like McWhorter will win out in that battle.
Still some formation flying taking place here, side by side with the 5 and the 41. It was briefly side by side with the 88 and the 2 side by side as well here between the 14 of Blake Kluot and the 32 of Aiden Amaro. These drivers still just adventurous enough to go side by side around this place and maybe fan out to a little bit of 3 wide racing. There we go. That's trying to get involved in is Casey Graves. Doesn't get involved in it too much. Blake Kluot holds on to 13th, Aiden Amaro in 14th place. Now ripping it to the top side there, all through turn number 3 and 4, looking to get the move done on Noah Woods, who gets chewed up and spat out there in the middle.
This is going to be a battle to try and get through to the front. Looks like the 14 is going to win out here. Look out, they're going to be almost 4 wide. 32's carrying a lot of momentum on the top. Look at this run. 3 wide again, 4 wide almost on the exit of the corner. 32 is going to take that lead spot of the cars on 4 tires. He's now going on Ryan Von Hinchel to the inside. Amaro's just bobbing and weaving through this field. He's wheel manning it. But, he's got 4 fresh tires. That's helping him out a lot.
Yeah, his car is not driving like a tin can being thrown down a flight of stairs. He's got some pace, he's got some control of that machine, and he's pulling that front end exactly where he wants it to be. From the outside of Bryce Reiner makes it seem like he's sitting still. Now here he comes on Andrew Dyson. That'll be the squabble for 4th. He's got to jump into that spot and look right behind. Following him everywhere he goes is Blake Kluot, a sideways wiggle there from the 73 of McWhorter. That's allowed Aiden Amaro to jump his way up into 3rd. Now got to wonder what he can do against Hoytsma and Hixenball.
They're going to be side by side together. They're up to third and fourth, and it's just a matter of time before they catch the 97. I think it's going to be about a lap or two before they get there. Kind of side by side, not really working together at all. They know that if they can get to the lead, they got the fresh air, they might be able to hang on to it. 97 is kind and gets up and out of the way and lets these two cars go. He knows those cars are way faster. No reason to be battling two side-by-side cars right there on a different strategy. No need to be battling. He understands the long-term game here.
Hey, three wide racing for your top spot. Amaro and Kluwat battling in their own right as they get past Hicksonball now side by side as they head their way down into 3 and 4. Kluwat now going to jump into that top spot. This is a great race for that number 14 machine. And what a time to do it as well. Looking for his first win since Watkins Glen last season and looking for that Dash for Cash bonus too.
Yeah, we're trying to race a lap 90, by the way. Lap 90 here in about 10 laps. That 14 car is going to hang on to the lead for about 10 laps. And that 32 is going to do everything he can to try and chase him down. Now, who else may be on the same strategy, you might be asking? Cody Bird in the 15 car. He was running dead last for the entirety of stage number 1. Guess what? He's running P11 right now. Let's see if we can get a camera on the 15 car, Cody Bird. You can see right here, he's been moving forward. He has the Make-A-Wish Foundation as a sponsor there on the car. He's about to be sent 3 wide. Here comes Jacob Simpson. Look out, folks. Michael Deach on the bottom. 15's trying to hang on to it with fresh tires. Keep trying to move forward. But he's had a harder time getting through the lap traffic, the slower traffic than the top 2 guys did, as he's kind of stuck behind Ryan Von Henschel right now.
And I got to wonder how these drivers are going to be treating that number 15 of Cody Bird. You don't usually talk about him running in a spot like this. Ryan Von Henschel going to be 3 wide with him as they head their way into turn number 1 and 2. Feel like that'd be a faux pas to wreck the Make-A-Wish car.
So Hunter Truel has just moved his way up to 3rd place, also on 4 tires. More and more cars that have gotten the 4 tires have gotten through the field, and they're just passing most of these guys up. Michael Deach, for example, is another car in that pink 91 machine, trying to get some good stage points here. He's going to be able to do that. He might be able to get a top 5 out of this if he's able to rush. More and more cars keep moving their way forward. Cody Bird's one of them, and getting some stage points is going to be really helpful for these guys. They kind of need that, knowing their situation in the point standings. It'd be beneficial for them. This is a good chance for them to be able to do that. Now that there was half of the race, this is kind of, I'm glad we have some sort of strategy causing a shake-up in the front, because now we actually got something to talk about.
Yeah, we got a little bit of spice going on. I said the whole bit into a jalapeno and got my tongue stuck to an ice pack. That is a true story. I did that back when I was a kid. No, I'm not very proud of it. And yes, my spice tolerance has grown as time has come along. See, I was a little bit worried in the first stage. I thought I was going to have to say, as we got the race up and rolling, all aboard the Dyson train. But we haven't had to do that yet.
Good Lord. Oh, hang on to it to the 5 car. Good Lord, he almost got hit by the 15. Oh, come on, Cody, you got this. Keep going, pal. Keep moving forward. There you go. It's just cool to see the change in what 4 tires can do. That 15 car, dead last the entire first stage. Now running in P7, just because of 4 tires. I like seeing that. Cody Bird, good job. Hopefully he can hang on to it. We only got about 4 laps to go in the stage when they cross the stripe. And you can see Blake Kluwat's pulled away to an 0.8 of a second lead over 2nd place. And they have a huge gap over 3rd. And then that huge battle we were looking at a second ago with Michael Deach in the 91 trying to catch up to Hoytsma. I think he's going to be able to get there. Trying to go to the bottom.
Still chasing each other's tails off through 3 and 4. Hoytsma, who at one point was contending for that race lead, now falling down outside of the top 5. Michael Deach able to get the move done here. Now, I will say, talking about Texas, I feel like of the intermediates, this is the one that could maybe give you the greatest underdog story. We flash our minds back in real life a couple of years ago where Ryan Sieg damn near won that race. This is one of those tracks where you can see some pretty off-the-wall and interesting characters walk away with some checkered flags, both in the sim and in real life. Now, whether that's down to strategy, whether that's down to chaos, you'll just have to see. But we still have some battling going on. This is a 2 of Ryan von Henschel, currently on the outside of Daniel Wiles. It looks like that 2 has been able to settle down after the few code ground moments he had with Eric Wineland not too long ago. However, this may not be good music to the ears of both of these drivers. Not too far apart from each other. You got the 88 and the 22 of Wiles and Simpson, respectively. And then once Eric Wineland gets past both of them, they'll be right on top of each other once more, hoping that they don't actually end up on top of each other. There's a lot of paperwork involved in that, I'm sure.
Well, we're at right now at 2 laps to go for Blake Kluwat. That 14 car has been just, ever since he took those 4 tires, he's been on rails. He got away from Amaro, and the huge gap was inevitable. That 4 tires might hurt him in the long run, might not. We're going to find out here. I think they got plenty of sets of tires underneath them to be able to make it the distance. But as they cross the stripe, 1 more lap to go in stage number 2. And what a stage has it been. Cody Bird's moved up, Michael Deitch, and Hunter Truex, Aiden Amaro, and Blake Kluwat, the big people who have taken advantage of the 4-tire gamble. And it's working out for him. Getting some stage points is going to happen for these guys if they can make it back to the line. It looks like they surely will. As Blake Kluwat goes through turns 3 and 4, he will come to the stripe, and he will win stage number 2. A little loose, but he's very happy about it, shaking the car off turn 4.
And so Kluwat grabbing that stage win. I don't think I can remember the last time Blake Kluwat won a stage, if he has. So, again, it just shows that Kluwat having a really good night here in his time here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Aiden Amaro ends up in second, Hunter Truex in third, Bryson Exenball in fourth, in front of Michael Deitch completing your top 5. Lucas Oitzma, Cody Bird, Joseph McWhorter, Andrew Dyson, and Bryce Reiner ran at your top 10 at the end of that stage. Real close between Dyson and Reiner as they got towards the end, half a tenth between those 2 cars, deciding your final 2 spots in the top 10. And now, Kirk, we have the 110-lap-long final stage with maybe a little bit more pit stop chicanery than what we saw so far.
So, folks, it looks like now we will go ahead and get ready for the real race to begin. 110-lap dash. Once we come back here in just a moment, we will go ahead and get this thing started and try to get to the end of the race and find out who will win here at Texas today for the Friday Night Lights Series. You're watching Maconi Entertainment. We'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, side by side, getting ready for the restart here at Texas. Looks like as we're coming down to the end of this thing, 200 laps we got to go, and it looks like that we're going to get a green flag restart with about 105 laps to go. If we can switch that up there on a template at the top, that'd be cool. I think that'd be helpful. So now what I got to tell you here is, looking at this top 5 and the top 10 in general, driver to watch, I think, is going to be Bryson Hixenbaugh. How fast can he get up towards the front, past these guys that did the 4-tire strategy? Are they going to be able to hang on? Who knows? We're going to see this restart happen here shortly.
You know, now for something completely different, I look at that condo building on the outside, turn number 1 and 2, as the field was heading their way down the back straightaway. You'd think, considering that place opened up back when this track opened up back in 1996, that they finally would have painted it. It looks like a prison overviewing the track. About to get the second stage up and rolling with Kluot and Amaro, your top 2.
Side by side, here we go. Through that restart zone, we are back underway. Great jump for Kluot. Everybody else gets to that restart zone, and they are all fighting for position in the turn number 1.
Side by side throughout the pack, though, who's going to be the first to try and punch out? Is anybody maybe going to have a little bit of trouble? These restarts have been smooth so far here tonight. Everybody smooth as they head their way down the back straightaway. Some drivers running a little bit high off through 1 and 2, and side by side for third. Amaro looking to cling on to that podium spot as Hoytsma going to look to try and squabble with him. Also look at the 73, Justin McWhorter trying to make something work there as well. He's currently running in 7th, looks to try and jump his way up. McWhorter, I still think, overdue for his first win here in this campaign.
And outside line's hard to make carry. Hard to save some tire there as Michael Deach got a little loose, loses a lot of momentum there on the bottom in that pink machine. But you can see the 63 of Hixenbaugh just sticking to that white line. He's just trying to ride the bottom of the racetrack. Stuck behind Hoytsma as the top 3 really scooted out to a little bit of a lead. How long will they keep it? Just a matter of time before we find out. 63 is going to make a move down to the inside here, trying to... Oh, no, it's a 73 on the top, going side by side for that position there. That's McWhorter trying to go up to 5th place.
There's a lesson that my English teacher taught me many, many moons ago, and that is, if you haven't gotten to where you're going, you aren't there yet. Side by side still between Hixenbaugh and McWhorter. That battle, it looks like, is maybe going to start to cool down as Hixenbaugh jumps into that spot. Actually, nope, I lied. These drivers playing me like a fiddle. Side by side once again as they headed their way down into turn number 1. But this top 3 pretty much covered by nothing. You can cover all of these cars with one singular, slightly oversized blanket. It's Kluot over Truel and Amaro now on the high side of Truel as they head their way off through turn number 3 and 4. This has been a really good race for all 3 of these drivers. Aiden Amaro, though, the newcomer, really standing out to me here in this event so far. Really good pace for a driver that's still looking to learn the ropes.
Right now, I'm not seeing very much tire saving out of the top 3. They've kind of scooted out a little bit as 4th place on back is kind of not really doing much of the same. Right there, look at this. You can see Hixenbaugh getting underneath the 97 of Hoytsma. Hoytsma's going to let him go. And now they're getting back to the bottom of the racetrack, and I think they're just going to be saving tire, waiting for the moment those top 3 start to burn their stuff up, and they can't do much about it. Single file for most of the front of the field, except for the lead right up here. You can see the top lane trying to make that 32 car go fast up top. Aiden Amaro wants to lead a lap, and he wants to do it desperately.
And so Amaro sensing the opportunity. You know, a good point being raised by Howie in the production truck. Because of that stage, everybody decided to take 4 tires once more. So pretty much everybody on a clean level playing field. But when they played that strategy call there, these top 3, they got the clean air. And as we were talking about earlier on, Kirk, clean air is king. It has been the dominant force throughout this race. Hasn't been one driver, hasn't been one team, hasn't been one manufacturer. It has just been the clean air. But these top 3 in their own little battle, you got to imagine kind of the thought process going through these drivers' minds. They're not usually running in a spot like this, you know, leading the race just past the halfway mark now. This is gonna feel somewhat alien to them.
You got a point, but that's 32 car. It's getting all over the back bumper. He's trying everything. He really wants to get by that 14 Kluot, and he's got to do it quick because he knows his tires will burn up if he doesn't do it early enough. I think that 14 car has got him in a position now where that 32 is going to need to have one hell of a run to make it happen. Behind them, Truel's just sitting there waiting in the wings, and Bryson Hicksonball is waiting for all three of them to have a mistake here, but the 32 goes up top. He might carry the momentum this time. Let's see it. Not this time. 14 slides up, takes the air away, and it will still be those top two. The longer this stint's going to go, you're going to see those top three. I think that over the course of the run, based on what we've seen since the start of this race, I think the top three might have some tire problems the longer we go. McWhorter and Hicksonball are going to be the drivers to watch, I think, in the long run.
Yeah, they haven't had to worry about too much so far here in this stint. They've been able to keep it easy and keep the tires underneath them. You've got to manage them here in this race. You can go through the race without managing them, but you'll also lose out on a boatload of time and pretty much feel like you're driving around, a massive yacht with only one functional engine. It is going to be brutal as time comes along here. So at the moment, I think these drivers at the front have realized that. They're saying, okay, these tires, starting to feel a bit brutal. Let's take it easy. Let's relax. Let's not burn these tires all the way down to the canvas before we have the opportunity to come down pit lane once more. It is all a matter of tire management here.
Well, folks, these top three are in a position now where you can see the 32 is going to already losing a little bit of time. I think he's going to be under fire for second place any moment now. And the battle for fourth is also about to get under heavy attack here just shortly. You can see right now that Hicksonball is catching up to the back bumper, the same as the 71 catching up to the back bumper of Amaro. Amaro now going to be under fire. Here comes Truel down to the bottom. He's going to make that pass in no time. Easy peasy. Moves up to second place as Amaro starts falling back. And now McWhorter and Hicksonball. When are they going to start making their moves?
And you can see them right behind, kind of just looming ominously over these drivers like a windmill over a cornfield. Will they be able to get these moves done soon? They've been able to get a lot of moves, certainly in the case of McWhorter. He's probably had more experience with passing these top-running cars than anybody here tonight. So keep it on him to maybe stick his nose out.
Take a look there, Aiden Amaro just going the wrong direction. His tires are shot, and now McWhorter's trying to go to the inside, but that's just going to open the door. 63 of Hicksonball on the back bumper, waiting for the right moment to head in. And it looks like that the 73's got the pass made as the 32 continues to fall back outside the top five.
And now here we go. Hicksonball trying to fully clear and jump his way up into fourth over Aiden Amaro as the 73 now getting close to the back of Truel. This is going to really get spicy here as it's Truel and Blake Kluot covered by just about nothing, and a Pandemonium breaking out behind. Look at that, three wide racing briefly as they headed their way off between number 1 and 2. And now Reiner going to clear Amaro as well. So unfortunately for that 32, once he got mired back into the traffic, the pace really just bleeding away of that machine. For these drivers like Kluot and Truel, the dream scenario would be a caution to come out right about now.
What I can tell you right now is that 32 car has just been a negative magnet to the lead. He's been going further and further back as the 63's got a run on the 73 this time. He's going to make a move down to the inside. This could possibly be the race for the win if they stay green all the way through this stage. 63 to the inside. Going to try and make that bottom line work, and it looks like he will not have the momentum on the exit. Have to pull back in and try another time. as the 97 and the 5 stack up behind him. 4-car battle right here for the third place spot.
There you can see it side-by-side battling here. Hicksonball trying to jump in front of Joseph McWhorter into one. So the inside line trying to rip it on the high side and hold on to that spot is McWhorter. This is pretty much just deciding who is going to be the one to rattle the cage of Kluot and Truel the first and be the one to rattle them the most as well. Look at now, that's Lucas Hoytsma trying to get a move done here as well. Look at that number 97 on the inside through 3 and 4. And look at, he is through up into 4th. Nice move there from Hoytsma. Bryce Reiner now going to try and get involved in this battle himself too. It's just a never-ending stream of cars from Bryson Hicksonball in 3rd, really running all the way down to Daniel Wiles in 10th. Small little gap even between himself and Andrew Dyson of about 2 tenths. Yeah, just look at that never-ending lineup of cars. You can really stretch it back down to Seth Foudy, currently running in 16th place.
The longer this stage will go, the more the cream will rise to the top. And I can tell you right now, Bryce Reiner just made a move here on the 97 going to the inside. He's going to make that pass. Lucas Hoytsma is going the wrong direction. Lost 2 spots in the last couple corners. And as Hicksonball is trying to chase down the top 3. If you look at the gap, you're going to see it constantly get smaller and smaller. I think that 63 car is just gaining every single lap. Half a tenth here, half a tenth there. He's just constantly trying to chase down these top 2.
Yeah, 86 laps left to go right now here in this event. Hoytsma trying to cling on to that P5 spot, as a P6 spot, pardon me. Jacob Simpson right there on the outside, down the backstretch, into 3 and 4. I think Simpson may be able to get this move done soon. Again, it's been a wild night for that 22 machine. Probably the tamest of all the wild nights that we have seen so far here in this campaign. Usually when we've been talking about drivers having wild nights, get involved in about 16 separate accidents and still walk away with the top 5. But right now, the 22 has just been, constantly swinging his way around the field. He was running up towards the front a bit earlier on here, then started to drop down, then spiked back up. He's now kind of finding a mediator position at the moment, as it stands right now, holding on to 6th, side by side here. Hicksonball looking for the move on Truel.
Yeah, 71 got really loose on the exit of turn 4. That opened the door for Hicksonball to make that pass. He moves up into P2, as now he's chasing down that P1 spot. He's about a half a second back. And I think he's going to get there probably within the next 3 or 4 laps or so if this continues. 14 car with the clean air, though, gives him a little bit more of an advantage. How long can he hold on?
Only time will tell, but Blake Kluot holding on to a half a second margin. Whether that gap holds for another few laps, we will just have to wait and see. Joseph McWhorter now smelling blood in the water, and like a shark, he is circling around that number 71 with his fin out in the sky. Will he be able to jump his way up into that spot? He's on the inside, heading into turn number 3, and oh, look at that. That was Bryce Reiner thinking about making a 3 wide. He does stick a 3 wide, heading off through 3 and 4. Some bold stuff there. It rattles the cage to the 71 of Truel, who says, nope, I'm not even going to touch that battle with a 10-foot pole. Y'all have fun. I'm looking to keep a clean race car. That was some bold stuff there from Bryce Reiner. 3 wide racing here at Texas can also work in the same sense that you can also become a millionaire by selling your assets and buying nothing but scratch off lotto tickets.
Wow.
Or
Look
investing in
at
Beanie Babies.
I don't know about that, man, but you can see that these guys have really gotten so close together. Top spot lead right here, 63 car coming to get to lap 81. The 63 is going to be side by side for the lead here shortly. The 63 is going to make that move going into turn, and caution's out. Crashing on the front straightaway. Oh, there goes Jacob Simpson in the 22 car.
Oh, and a penalty for Matthew Boston Wheeler as the yellow flag comes out. So let's take a look at what may have gone down here. There you can see
goodness.
That was a 73 getting sent there, and I think it just caught out there. We'll Take a quick look here to see exactly how Matthew Boston Wheeler picked up that penalty there. I think it was speeding on pit lane, or I don't say pit exit maybe. Yeah, I think that may have just been a pit lane penalty. May get cleared by race control. We'll have to see. There it was, 73. He didn't even get to the back of him before that 73 at the sideways step. It just checked up there, and unfortunately for the 22, really nothing that he could do. And the 2 and the 41 and the 56 all getting collected in some regard in that as well. Super unfortunate for those drivers who just caught a falling anvil to the face.
Looks like a total of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars I saw that were involved, maybe 6 total, who had something to do with that wreck. Maybe had contact, things like that. But Von Henschel gets a meatball flag in the 2 car. He's the only one that gets something that's going to require a lot of damage repair.
You can understand why. This was a super awkward hit. Yeah, there you can see it double hit, in fact. Hit the front end and then bounced off the wall, and you can see that car immediately running sour. I feel bad for Ryan Von Henschel in this situation here. I talked about the rough form that he has had so far in this campaign, and now some of that has been down to incidents out there on the racetrack, but sometimes he has just been caught up in really bad falling anvil storms. Field coming down pit lane right now, 97 staying out just to finish up on that point. I feel bad for Von Henschel in this race, pretty much like the filled-in snake pit at the zoo. Hasn't had to pit to hiss in all season long. So here we go, filing into pit lane, Kirk. This is going to get spicy.
You can see that Hoytsma stayed out on the racetrack. Lucas Hoytsma trying to pull some strategy here, trying to make something a little more anxious and entertaining. You'd also see Matthew Boston Wheeler stayed out. Kyle Ammon, Eric Wineland, and Aiden Amaro all stay out on the racetrack. Everybody else down on pit road. Some cars take 2 tires, like that car right there on your screen. You can see the 14. Blake Cluot looks like he took maybe 2 tires. Very interesting idea here. Not sure exactly as to why. He won the race off pit road by a lot, so maybe not even 2 tires. Did he even stop?
We're hearing that somebody took just fuel only in that stop. It's a bold call to do at Texas, but again, it is you know, a very big track in terms of just having the clean air, so it works out well. Kyle Amon was the other driver who came in just for fuel and fuel alone. 4.2 seconds stopped in pit lane. Blake Cluot just a teeny tiny bit slower at 6.4, and Hunter Trull just slightly slower than that at 8.6. You can see the 10 of Matthew Boston Wheeler stopped there, trying to send himself to the back of the pack. But, you know, it is Texas, so everything is bigger in Texas. I guess the hole being punched by these cars and the dirty air coming off of them is bigger too.
It's just a matter of time before we find out how these strategies morph together, man. I think that this is going to be one of those things that's going to be entertaining for us to watch. We're going to get the restart with 77 laps to go in this race. And remember the cars that at the very beginning of the race we saw do really, really well. Hicksonball led the majority of the first stage. Guess what? He's right now P7. He's got 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that car. Got a ways to go to move towards the front, but he could definitely do it. Eric Wineland sitting P3 right now on old tires. He's got to try and deal with Aiden Amaro and Lucas Hoytsma and see if this strategy works out where they stay out on older tires. Maybe that means that they try to make it on fuel or do a short pit strategy here. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go down. There's so many factors that can go into this. And for this restart, the only thing I want to see is the front 10, because it's just going to be chaotic from Casey Graves on forward for the first initial start of this race. Keep an eye on it, and anything could happen. Through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to get the restart. Let's find out what's going to happen together, folks. Pace car heads out of turn number 4. You're going to see it go ahead and dive back down to the pit lane. Side by side, Hoytsma and Amaro, your top 2. Watch the wheel spin through the restart zone. Looks fine right there. Back underway.
Yeah, and a cartoonishly good restart there from Lucas Hoytsma. 0.4 of a second lead already as they send it off into turn number 1 and 2. Speaking of sending it off, I think Aiden Lamara sends it off a little bit too hard. He's now on the outside of full line racing as they headed their way onto the back straightaway. I don't have a good feeling about this, Kirk. I will be 100% honest. They kept it smooth off through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, different dilemma in its entirety. Sideways wiggle there. Huge loss of time for Kyle Amon. He sinks down the running order, now running in 7th.
Going from 7th to 2nd in just 1 lap, Bryson Hixenball takes over 2nd place as he's trying to chase back down Lucas Hoytsma, big rival there who stayed out on older tires. We kind of knew this was going to happen with all the different strategies being played out. Kulak most certainly did not have the speed to hang on to it with only a fuel tire stop, but that 63 of Hixenball takes the lead away from Hoytsma like it was nothing. Super easy. Fresh tires versus old tires. Very different story. And look at Dustin Hall. We're sitting P5. We hadn't seen that one car up towards the front all day long. Now sitting in the top 5 for Dustin Hall. Not bad.
Yeah, not too shabby at all. Could see some racing. Still hot, a little bit farther behind, though. That was Mason Lowry, Devin Medeiros, Kyle Amon all involved in that, along with Jared Gradzicki. We haven't talked about Mason Lowry throughout this race. I thought that he was last seen hitchhiking on the 405, to tell you the truth. He's now holding on to 10th. One of our Dash for Cash contenders here tonight. Now, that doesn't really matter with a damn, considering Bryson Hixenball is one of those Dash for Cash drivers and has been consistently quick all throughout the day. Still want to give some love to that 42, Mason Lowry, really holding on to that final spot inside the top 10 on that alternate pit call. So 5 laps into this stint already. Can we call it the alternate call? So many drivers making it. I guess we could call it just the primary.
It's going to be a minute before we see them all settled out, maybe. The top 4 have really settled out, though. You know, Bryce Reiner, Daniel Wiles, Dustin Hall, and Bryson Hixenball are pretty much set in stone. But right behind that, remember who started dead last today? It was Wesley Napier. Guess where he's running? Just outside top 5, sitting P6 in that 95 car. Casey Graves, Mason Lowry, all in that little section right there. That 95 of Napier, again, started dead last. It is now on the back bumper, 5th place for Seth Foudy. And I think that, like I said at the very beginning of the race, I had a feeling this car would be up towards the front at the end of this thing. And with 72 laps to go, he's in a great spot.
And now look at that pack just breaking away. I will say, Kirk, here at this moment here on this stage, these are probably the largest gaps that we have seen between groups of cars in quite a while. You got your top 4 really checked out. And then Seth Foudy, Wesley Napier, and Casey Graves in this own little battle. There's some camera angles where you would think that they're the only cars out there on the racetrack. You can see nobody else. Like here it is. Can't really see anybody else as we ride on with that camera shot as they headed their way out of turn number 1 and 2. Just shows you the fact that these drivers have broken away, English. And also the battling that's been going on behind is just causing all of them to drop down as if they have anchors tied around their ankles. Right now, your top 4, free to do whatever they want. That kind of mid-pack behind, free to do a little bit, but just pretty much ping-ponging between either being not too close to your top pack and being not too far away from the pack behind them.
Dropping down the order is just happening right now for the 21, the 97. They are now outside of the top 20. Continuing to fall back lap after lap. The cars that were on the front row, they are now outside of the top 20. It's how fast 4 tires can really be. As the battle for 3rd starts to heat up, you can see Dustin Hall get by Daniel Wiles. That 1 car is now sitting in a podium position. Where did this 1 car come from? All day long has not really shown any speed, but now sitting in a position to where he could probably catch up to the top 2 who are now racing for the lead. You can see Bryce Reiner. He's got some speed. He might have something for that 63 if he's able to stay right on the back bumper. Wait for a moment to make a mistake. We'll find out.
And super duper close racing throughout this pack. Yes, super duper brilliant. Professional broadcast terminology right there. The Columbia School of Broadcasting taught me that much. Racing going on between Graves and Wesley Napier, a driver that is still one that we have to applaud the performance that he has put in so far here tonight. I'll have to take a look at the graphic. I wonder if we can pull it up, the hard charger graphic so far here. I gotta imagine he is still, up there in the top. Well, yeah, exactly at the top. Look at that, 27 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. Pretty much the entire field. That is incredible pace that we've seen from Wesley Napier, bouncing back after a rough qualifying. One thing I do like about this series, you have plenty of time to make up the time from qualifying, even here at Texas.
Now the strategy is going to change. Some folks, I have no idea on how these guys are going to be able to actually run this. They got 66 laps to go. I'm trying to think of why the drivers would have stayed out under green that last time. Why the 21 did it, why the 97 did it. I'm trying to see the strategy here, and I'm just struggling to see anything.
And hearing from Howie in the production truck, the point that is being raised about those drivers making this call to stay out, maybe saving to just have some stuff in reserves. Last time I thought about a driver and a team making that call to always have the opportunity to go with something else. I don't think that ended too well with McLaren last year. So, hey, I've seen stranger things, and I don't have a Netflix subscription. Still close between your top two, Bryson Hixenball and Bryce Reiner, covered by not a lot. 1.5 tenths of a second the margin between those drivers. Reiner up 10 spots from where he started here. Dustin Hall ran up 25. Great drive from him. Kind of overshadowed by Wesley Napier's 27 spots. But hey, if you can jump into that race lead, would be able to equal that tally set by Wesley Napier right now. So keep an eye on that one machine of Dustin Hall just to get a good result out of tonight's race. 64 laps left to go. I am so thankful the fact I didn't say that 3 laps earlier. And Bryson Hixenball still your leader with Bryce Reiner just trying to push him off his game a little bit. We're not seeing a fist fight break out right now, but these two drivers are eyeing each other in a slightly uncomfortable way on the other side of a bar.
Well, folks, I just got done talking with one of the drivers who stayed out there on the strategy. Turns out the plan that they have, if they have a caution, they have an extra set of tires in the pit road. Everybody else does not. They are banking on a caution. So in this case, that is what the driver that I spoke to who stayed out on that last caution, what their reasoning for that was. Same thing with the 14 car. There's multiple people who took 2 tires and took gas only. And what they are banking on is a caution. If we get one, then the race flips to their favor and everybody else is in trouble.
This is a memory that you've re-sparked here, Kirk. This was from back in 2022. If you go to a department store, especially in the city of Philadelphia, you get to see some interested characters, Target being no exception. Had to go get some new shoes at a Target right around me back then, and walked out, and there was this guy walking through the parking lot wearing nothing but a Speedo, a drawstring backpack, and flip-flops. And he was walking through the parking lot, kind of feeling the air. He went between, miming, somebody cleaning windows and also, balancing watermelons in his hand. I wish to this day that I rolled down the window and asked that guy exactly what time it was, because it probably would have divulged into a conversation talking about the Flat Earth Society or some other ungodly thing.
What the hell are you talking about, Ron?
60 laps left, and Hixenball and Reiner still pretty much right on top of each other. A quarter of a second the gap between them. Now Reiner has been able to close up that gap just a little bit closer, but I think right now that 5 starting to feel the burn when it comes to the tires. There's only too much that these tires will take before they just decide to go out on strike.
That's more like it. I was about to say, what the hell? Just out of left field. What? There we go. About to say. All right. Well, now if we keep this thing green, Ron, it's going to benefit Hixenball, Reiner, Wiles, Hall, and Graves. Big time. These guys took the tires. They're in a position where that would benefit them if we stay green. If at any point a caution comes out, benefits everybody who did not come down. It's just a matter of time before we find out. You know what I'd like to do? Why don't we just go ahead and ride on board with a few folks and do some, what we like to call, crank it up. Just go ahead and listen to the engines, and we'll be right back with you shortly. You can see that battle from the lead. You're on board with the back bumper of Hicksonball there. 5 car got close a couple times, not quite able to make any moves or get quite close enough to make any idea of a move. But everybody else is really single filed out. And the big story you guys want to keep in mind is the drivers who stayed out on old tires. You take a look at the back of the field, the 71, the 32, and the 14. If we can get a camera on them just real quick. The reason being, look at where they are on the racetrack. They're on the back straightaway heading into turn number 3 right now. But if you look at the leader, Bryson Hicksonball, if you go back up to the lead for Hicksonball, he is just right behind him. And he's less than a corner away. If these guys lose their lap to the leader here, it's just a matter of time before Truex, Amaro, Kluot, Wineland, these guys' strategy might not play out in their favor. They're in a position where they could absolutely be in a bad position if they get lapped by the leader.
Yeah, again, put a lap down here at Texas is, I wouldn't say a night ender, but it'll take the wind out of your sails. Yeah.
Yeah, they need a caution. If they get a caution, they can get back up towards the front, fresh tires, they have a chance to win the race. But if they get lapped, even if there is a caution, it throws out the opportunity. They won't even be in the discussion. So here's the deal. They need to be able to, they're going to come down for one final pit stop here. Everybody will. But once that pit stop happens, then all those cars that are on older tires, they desperately need that caution. Absolutely. It's their best chance to be able to win this race, seeing the things that have fallen through the way that they have. See right here, battle for the 5th place spot, turning into a battle for the 4th place spot. The 1 car is under fire. Here comes Casey Graves down to the inside. He's going to make that pass for 4th place rather.
So Casey Graves making up some time as the 1 car of Dustin Hall starts to just slip down ever so slightly. You do see a little bit of development as things go along here in these stages. Drivers starting to drop down, others rising to acclaim. Jacob Simpson, unfortunately, down in pit lane for a long time here. I think this is the night of promise for that number 22 car, but unfortunately, I wouldn't say things slowly started to go downhill. I feel like they were going all right, to hit a wall.
Yeah, he got involved in
that's a
that
shame.
wreck. Yeah, he got involved in that wreck, and since then he just hasn't had the speed, and he decided to come down and park it. Get the damage repaired.
Yeah, I think it's very understandable that he would do that here at Texas. It's one of those tracks where even a perfectly fine race car right off the truck will sometimes feel like a sack of lard on a hot day slipping around a warehouse. So, you know, really, if you're feeling damage, if the car's not feeling good and you're not feeling all right with it, sometimes it is maybe best just to say, you know what, I'll look ahead to the next round of this season, and of course you'll be able to catch all of the action here on Maconi Entertainment as we get out of the Dash for Cash races, leaving this one, and swap out the left-hand turns of Texas for the left and right-hand turns, Watkins Glen up there in New York. So we're going from pretty much one end of the country to a completely different one.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that trip over to Watkins Glen. Great racetrack. As you see, Jesse Winslow, who's a lap car, going by the one car. A lot of weird situations going on up here at the front of this field. 56 is also a lap car. And we're getting now to the point where Truel's coming down pit road. Truel is on pit road, is side by side still between Aiden Amaro and Blake Kluot, the last two on the lead lap. Well, folks, you can see right now with him going down pit road, that might open a window. Some folks might choose to come down now. Might be a little bit of time, maybe a couple laps, 5-10 laps. We'll see what happens. The longer this goes, when Hicksonball comes down, you could expect to see some folks come down, but I think that Hicksonball might run late.
Yeah, and you can see point raised there by Howie and the production truck drivers. Right now, 33 laps onto their tires so far. Now coming down pit lane. Now, is this just for the assurance of saying, you know what, I got my pit stop worried about early. Don't have to worry about it through to the end. Sometimes racers will opt for some later pain, just kick the can down the road. Maybe like the opposite of procrastination, just try and get the pit stops done and dusted with as soon as possible. You know, very unrelated from all of that, it just popped into my head. Why is it that everybody that attends a Kentucky Derby dresses like they're coming out of a live-action version of The Great Gatsby?
I don't know if this is the right place to ask that question, Ron.
Where is?
An AI agent, maybe?
14
car Kluot's coming down pit road. You can see that there. Everybody who stayed out on that last caution is pitting now. So that must mean that if they can get a caution, with the exception of the 97 who stays out even longer, he's running P21, 19 seconds behind a leader, and it's changing constantly. But if things go their way, it could benefit them. But that 63, keeping an eye on him for whenever he decides to come down pit road.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think that was the first time in the history of this series that somebody's talked about The Great Gatsby, and probably the second time that I have talked about the Kentucky Derby here on these shows. So the more you know, I suppose. My father always compares me to a racehorse, because once I'm done with these shows, he usually feeds me a sugar cube once I'm done. Side-by-side racing here, of course, different lap, different situation. The 71 of Hunter Truel blowing these drivers' doors off as if they are sitting still. That shows the tire differential here at Texas gets put on full display. Really nothing that these drivers could do. However, they are going to try and respond with a little bit of squabbling of their own. Joseph McWhorter jumps his way up into fourth. Casey Graves now slipped down into P5. But the pit stops around once again. Gotta wonder if the experience that these drivers have had so far is maybe going to help them out. I think all throughout this field, you can pick just one driver from another, and they've had very different experiences in terms of the pit strategy here.
It's just going to constantly evolve throughout the run. The longer this goes, you can see battle for 10th place right here on your screen. You can see Matthew Boston Wheeler making a move to the inside of Tanner Marty here. This is going to be for 10th place. It looks like 10 car will make that 10th place spot his. And not a bad run again for Matthew Boston Wheeler today, and Tanner Marty, both having good runs this afternoon. The longer this goes, the closer we get to the pit stops is whenever I'm going to get excited here. You can see Michael Deach coming down pit road, William Owens, Brandon Hunsinger. I think that pit road strategies wide open now. They can choose to come down whenever they want to. It's going to happen anytime from now to about 5 laps from now, maybe 10 or 20 laps from now, depending on the driver.
I think the pit strategy has added a nice little dynamic to this race. It's sort of like my commentary. You don't know what the hell's going to happen next. Yeah, drivers now halfway through this stage run here. So this could be the golden spot for these drivers to come down pit lane. Just, get the best out of both worlds. Get the max amount of use for this and the max amount of use for the next one here. Next run. Once these drivers do the tire swap, as right now it looks like the 01 of Casey Graves. He's so slow compared to everybody else as he heads his way around there that he really... I thought that he was heading his way down pit lane. Dustin Hall did. Casey Graves did not. It's just that these cars are so painfully slow heading your way down there. It's like driving on the highway and you see a 98-year-old woman behind the wheel of her son's Toyota Camry. And she's just putting in the fast lane, going about 2 miles an hour, and there's nearly a 15-car pileup right behind. This may just be a Philly thing, specifically I-95, where the 60-mile-an-hour speed limit is just a vague suggestion.
Well, I can tell you this one bit here. Lucas Hoytsman came down pit road a handful of laps ago. He's probably going to be the one that's in the lead of that particular plan. As you can see right here, black flag for Mason Lowry. He's going to have a problem for the rest of the run now. That's unfortunate for him, speeding on pit road.
So speeding penalty getting kicked out. Hey, Rosel's talking about drivers on I-95 where 125 miles an hour is pretty much just the norm for some people, especially in a Dodge Charger. If you do 125 miles an hour down in pit lane here, I'm pretty sure they send you directly to hell.
Oh, no.
They send you to the DMV.
I'd say that they have in Talladega. If you did that, they have Dega jail. You don't want to spend the night in Dega jail.
They actually have a jail inside the Talladega infield.
Kind of. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's all I know is you don't want to go to Dega jail. That's all I'm going to say right there. Just don't get in fights and steal stuff, and you're good. All right, here we go. What I can say, you can see those stints on the far left of your screen. Dustin Hall just came down for his stop. Bryce Reiner's now on pit road. Matthew Boston Wheeler came down from 10th place. More and more cars choosing to head down pit road. And it's just going to continue here. Now, when does Hixenbaugh make his move? That's the question I have. Right now, he's on pit road.
You summoned it. That's exactly what was there. Was that a manifestation? Did he summon it? I'm not sure how that works there. But either way, it's a pit stop for sure for Hixenbaugh. What caused it was it the racing gods frowning upon us, smiling upon us? I'm not too sure. Even when I was a driver, I couldn't get a read on exactly what the racing gods were trying to tell me. Sometimes I think they're just trying to get in contact with me about my car's extended warranty. Wiles, your leader, he stays out once again. 45 laps now, the stint length for the entirety of your top 11, as Hixenbaugh now on pit exit here. There you go, clicking right off to zero. 45, 46 laps on these tires as he goes a lap down there, does Hixenbaugh, and another pit stop for Tanner Marty and Daniel Wiles. These pit stops have becoming a bit more of a common occurrence here, Kirk, and it stands to reason. These tires probably feeling far from factory fresh, to put it a little bit lightly.
Yeah, so those folks that stayed out on that odd cautions out, this is not helping anyone on that strategy. And it's Eric Wineland, one of the cars that were on that strategy on the back straightaway. Heavy contact, caution is out. Let's see what happened to Eric Wineland here. Gradzicki, who was running on the racetrack on old tires, got loose up top. Not clear.
Yeah, that's the worry in the situation that we found ourselves in with drivers on various different strategies, various different tire, lives. lives. There we go. There's the word. You're going to find yourself with moments like that heading your way out of the turns where one driver on slightly older tires, you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling happy, you feel like you can put that car wherever you want. But at the end of the day, these are still rather big, rather lumpy, and rather heavy stock cars, and they will send you off into hell whenever contact is made.
Now, here's the deal. There is... All right, so here's the deal, folks. With that makes 10 cars going to be on the lead lap here. 10 cars total. 88's going to take the lucky dog, but everybody else... Never mind. I got you. Okay, now look, here's the deal, okay? We're going to have these cars stay out, and they're going to be able to come down pit road. The folks that have came down, they're going to take their tires, but they're going to come back out. Most of the field is a lap down. They got to wake their way around as a wave around, and now that's going to just shaking up the entire top 10 running.
Little mix-up, we could say. Little just a sprinkle of drama as we get towards the end here.
It's wild.
Bad
timing.
Definitely bad timing for that yellow to break out during the pit cycle, but this is really just going to... probably the biggest evolution. Evolution, would that be the right word here? I'm not too sure. Just for sure the biggest change that we have had here in this race. And yeah, I'm not sure whether these drivers are going to be a fan of it. I'm not sure exactly what our thoughts are here on the broadcast. We're just waiting to see what goes on. This is a discovery that really has changed my perspective on this broadcasting stuff. Us commentators just enjoyed when the drivers are feeling pain, not actual pain. We're not, we're not sadistic. We're just, we're a fan when these drivers are very uncomfortable, not a fan of the position they are at there on the racetrack, maybe a little bit angry with each other. We do enjoy that quite a lot as broadcasters.
Well, 30 laps to go when they cross the stripe. You can see right now that 92 Hunsinger going off the corner there, trying to catch back up to the back of the field. We're going to see the wave round cars go around the pace car right now, it looks like. A lot of cars are starting to fly by. It's going to be kind of like a weird thing. It's kind of like a second restart we're going to have here. Half the field's already trying to chase their way back around. It's just a matter of time before they do.
And there we can see that pace car. A couple of cars merging in with it. It's the only iRacing pace car that I think is just, in the fourth dimension. You can pass through it, pass around it. It is an unbelievable machine there. Gotta wonder what sort of material the iRacing pace car is made out of. Is it just jello? Ballistics gel? Goop?
What?
See, I'm wondering exactly what that pace car is made out of. You can phase through it like it's nobody's business. It goes through with, no resistance. Actually reminds me of my time in culinary arts when they said that you can test how well a fish is cooked if there's no resistance when you stick a cake tester in the middle of it. I feel like I'm speaking to a brick wall right now. Better get a restart up and rolling. Bottom lane completely jammed up with cars that just got the wave around. And a very interesting pack of cars. Some drivers looking for their first taste of triumph this year. This is going to get real exciting.
You can see all the wave around cars at the back of the field. Pace cars in pit road. Top 10 through the restart zone. We're back underway. And McCorder tries to run away from the rest of the field. Seth Foudy, Casey Graves, Wesley Napier are your top four. Like, what the heck? Completely different than what we've seen all race long.
You and look at the side-by-side racing throughout the pack. I was a little bit nervous there as Wesley Napier and Andrew Dyson trying to send me off into some untimely yodeling as I headed their way down the back straightaway. Close to making contact. Even once they did make that initial touch, nearly ended up sending both of them up into the fence. Not a lot of major accidents here in this race. High speeds at Texas, high risk of drama, but hasn't been a lot of crashes so far here. Still close. Now Andrew Dyson all over the back of Seth Foudy after starting this race up at the front and leading in the first 20 or so laps. I think Andrew Dyson looking to end this race in the way that it started.
He's been riding around that spot for most of the day, it seems like. Just outside of the top 10, running in the top 5 from here and there. but hasn't really had the lead speed for a while. He had it for a short bit in the beginning of the race, but not for long. You can see now that Joseph McWhorter is scooted out to almost a half a second lead over second place. Casey Graves having a great day again. But the big driver I want to watch is Hicksonbaugh, who's been the driver of the field all day long. He's right now trying to get through multiple cars, trying to make his march back up towards the front. This entire strategy was thrown off. Everybody's strategy was thrown off whenever that caution came out at the strangest time. Contact right in front of the 63. Michael Mesnard, he's loose in front of the 63. He's on the bottom of the racetrack having to check up, gets out of the way, and 63 hangs on to it, and so does the 35, but he's losing a lot of spots.
I don't even want to describe the noise that came out of my gullet as they headed their way off through turn number 1. There's the contact. The 5 and the 35, and there's another bit of contact with the 35 and the 20. Nearly resulted in a third touch there, but Bryson Hicksonbaugh, very heads-up driving from him to avoid disaster breaking out as they headed their way through turns number 1 and 2. We keep it clean and green. 25 laps left to go here in this race, and a charging Andrew Dyson now looking for third.
He's going to take that spot right away, no problem at all. Seth Foudy lets him go as the rest of the field. But driver I'm surprised with, Cliff Mullins, running P6 right now. That 44 car, I haven't talked about him all day long, but that 44 car sitting in the top 10 spot under fire from Wiles right now. But good start, good place to be at the end of the race with just 24 laps to go.
Yeah, and these drivers feeling energetic reminds me of the time that I had a Red Bull as a child and I bit the beak off of a bird. McWhorter and Graves looking to run away. They've got a good margin for now. That margin may disappear. Andrew Dyson now with the opportunity to stretch his legs out for the first time in a while. He's going to apply some pressure. Those drivers are nervous, so that gap nearly go below a tenth of a second a few moments ago. They're briefly fanning out to 3 wide racing from the looks of it with Hicksonbaugh, Mullins, and Bryce Reiner all squabbling for the final few spots inside the top 10. And Hicksonbaugh, I think, wanting a little bit more here from this race. I thought that he was a driver to beat, and he certainly was in the early stages, but as this race went along and Texas did Texas things, unfortunately for Hicksonbaugh, it didn't really fall out in his favor. Now it looks like your top 5 are going to be the ones that are going to run not uncontested for the win, but they're going to be the ones that have the best shot out of anybody, unless we have some more yellows, some more shenanigans breaking out here, which, you know, they say anything can happen in Texas. I haven't seen too many stories about a Texan being killed trying to wrestle an alligator out of a golf club.
It's really surprising to see how that one caution brought these guys up to the front and now have changed their entire day. Casey Graves looking quick. He's really catching up to that back bumper, the 73 McWhorter. And I think it's just a matter of time before he gets there. But Hicksonbaugh just got over almost 3.5 seconds to catch up to McWhorter, and I don't really see that happening. I mean, he might, if it was 2 seconds maybe, but 3, it's pushing it. He would have to drive that car on rails, and everybody else would have to be battling really, really hard for that to actually happen. I don't think it's enough. He would need like 36 laps if he gains a 10th a lap, and it looks like that's what we're looking at here. It could change, but the driver that I'm really looking at here is that Casey Graves car, because if he's able to wait for the right moment, Graves has yet to win at all in this series, and it would be really cool to see him get his first career win here at Texas if he could. Maybe even Wesley Napier right back there for third place right now is under fire. You can see he's getting to the inside of the 41 of Dyson right now, side by side for third place. Those two cars, Wesley Napier and Casey Graves, if these guys were able to somehow win this race, that would be really wild. McWhorter and Dyson have won in the series before multiple times, but the underdogs right now are Graves and Napier.
Yeah, now as I look at this pack, this is an odd thing to say, because I didn't think that he would be in contention for it as we got late, as that was very, very slow there for the 56 and Noah Woods. Something's wrong with that car. He's pulling it now down to the apron to file it into pit lane. chalks up this field just a little bit. I was just going to talk about your third place runner, Andrew Dyson. As it stands at the moment, he's on track to win the Dash for Cash. Dash for Cash has been rather odd throughout the stint of the season. Joseph McWhorter got it, Adam Benefield got it twice, and now it looks like Andrew Dyson may be able to see it through to the very end. Been a fascinating run over the past couple of races, seeing those drivers pick up that $100 cash bonus at the end of these races. So it looks like Andrew Dyson, driver who really, I think, has been one of the top contenders throughout this season, looks like he's going to get it again. Now, it doesn't look like he'll be able to get with a win, but a top three, I don't think he'll mind that one bit.
Absolutely not. As Seth Foudy moves up to the fourth place battle right here, as ever since that Noah Woods car stopped on the racetrack in front of the 95, had to check up. 95 lost that momentum and just hasn't gained it back. Seth Foudy moves up to P4, and you can see in the back of your screen that Hicksonville's really hasn't gained much. His gap has stayed the same. McWhorter, Graves, and Dyson, as we're coming to get 15 laps to go here from Texas, might just steal this one away.
We still have some time. 15 laps left to go here at Texas. Just enough time for these racers to start to battle here soon. You got to wonder how Casey Graves is going to respond to that 41 slowly getting larger and larger and larger and larger in that rearview mirror. There's always that sense of just, pure nerves when you find yourself in a battle like that. I mentioned the whole thing of, swimming around like a shark here. He may not fully be the one to win this race, but he's certainly closing up that gap. He is about as close now as he really ever has been to this top two, and he may not be the one to go for the moves, be really pointy, and go for the dives, but his presence can still be a lot. It's like doing your job when your boss is in attendance. You're always a little bit more nervous when you to see that extra pressure around.
It'd be surprising if that third place car can make that charge, but I think the major thing is McWhorter holding off that 01. 01's now getting a little loose in the middle of the corner. I think that second place will be up for grabs for the 41, but whether or not he's able to catch the 73, I don't see it so far. It could happen. The 01 could also take off like a rocket ship or something if he jumps up, who knows. But that 73 car leading this thing, he's liking what he's seeing in his mirror. That 41 getting closer to the 01. If they get side by side, that only opens the door for him to scoot out to a big gap, and it looks like it's happening right now.
Scoon away. That's what's going to go down here with Joseph McWhorter. Going to seize the opportunity, say, I'm good. Just drive off. That's what you got to do right now. As it stands currently, we're only a few moments away from the fall of the checkered flag here in this race. So that 4.5 of a second gap between McWhorter and Dyson, that is, I wouldn't say fully insurmountable, but we'll have to see what kind of pace that number 41 car has. We're seeing a little extra spark out of him. I'm curious how if we can get some lap times pulled up of McWhorter and Dyson, see how they're doing lap to lap, how that gap has clearly fluctuated. Certainly Casey Graves was the one dropping down, but I think at the moment Dyson, you can see the time that he is pulling away. Now that he's got some clean air and Joseph McWhorter has a little bit of dirty air, this could get fascinating as we head into the final 10 laps.
Absolutely could. I think you actually got a point here. That 41 car might get in a good position if McWhorter gets to deal with a lot of dirty air. Right now he doesn't have it. That lap car got up and out of the way rather quickly, and now that 73 is trying to scoot away. He has yet to win this season. That 73 car, looking at the point standings so far, he's sitting right now in P number 3. And then you look at the 41 car, Dyson, he's won one race already this year. He'd love to make it number 2. He is gaining about a 10th a lap here, so there's a chance he can get there in the next lap or two, actually, if he continues the line he's running. But it's just a matter of being able to keep the car underneath him. You can see more cars right here catching up to the back bumper of this. You can see the 77 of Seth Foudy, who's running P4. He's moving up even further now, trying to catch up to the back bumper of Casey Graves. I don't know if he'll have enough to catch up to McWhorter or Dyson, but that 77, I'm seeing some speed out of that thing already.
Yeah, and if Foudy can pull off a top 5, that would be fantastic for him. He entered this race 16 points below that chase cutoff line behind the likes of Wesley Napier, Tanner Marty, Mason Lowry, and Eric Wineland, the first driver in heading into this event. So if he can walk away with a result like that, that would be astonishing. You can see now the gap kind of plateauing at around 0.2 of a second for Andrew Dyson. He had the pace to close up the gap, but I don't think he has enough pace to overcome the dirty air. We still have 7 laps left to go here, though, so still enough time for Dyson to maybe come close. But hey, I gotta say, I'll give myself some credit here about Andrew Dyson. I had my eye on him for a reason. See, I don't completely talk out of my ass.
Well, that was out of left field. Nah, you're good, man. So that battle there, 41's on the back bumper, the 73, he's giving him a shot in the corner, he spins him out, he saved the car. 73 saved that race car, he gave him a shot, trying to turn him around. Let's keep a camera on this. It's gonna get chaotic. Here comes the 77 of Seth Foudy to the inside for second place, 41 to the top. And what a save for the 73. This is the battle for the win. 4 cars all under a blanket as there's a wreck on the back straightaway. Car stopped on the bottom of the racetrack. They keep it green, no caution.
Yeah, and there you can see 77, 41 side by side all through the turn. One of these drivers is going to have to punch out into that P2 spot. Otherwise, McWhorter just going to run away with it. But I think Dyson may have just used up his stuff there in that attack and charge. Heading through the turn, contact made through there. Dyson with the sideways step. McWhorter with a code brand moment of the race. And they're still close to one another. Look at that top 4. They were split up big time not too long ago. Even Casey Graves is sensing an opportunity. I thought that 01 car's pace had completely fallen off into the Grand Canyon, but now looks like he is rising up, peaking at the right time, trying to look for third. Again, another driver who'd be delighted to walk away from this race with a top 3, but everybody's still eyeballing their chances at victory. 4 laps left to go here at Texas. McWhorter now with the 0.2 of a second margin. Dyson losing out on a bit more time off through 1 and 2. If he has some more moments like that, this could be McWhorter visiting victory lane for the first time here this season.
And the move of the race will be, if that 73 wins, his save after contact with the 41. That was one hell of a move. The 41 is off the pace. He's not there anymore. 41's checking up. He doesn't have the speed. He's gone. Seth Foudy trying to make a move to the bottom. You can see the 01 of Casey Graves. He's looking up top. Might take it 3 wide. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get there. Caution's out on the racetrack. Caution is out. Changes everything. Who is it? Let's take a look at it. You can see the battle that we had before. 41 got to the bumper. Look at the save the 73 just had here. Oh my gosh, what a save. I thought he was going around. But this is the cause of the caution. The first wreck that happened earlier, Steve Benjamin and the 56, that did not bring out the caution. This was still green flag racing. What brought out the caution was here with the 30 car William Owens for like the 9th week in a row around. Let's see what happens here with the 30 car. We saw the 31 involved in an accident earlier this week. The 32, still kind of new to the series. 30 got loose on his own and spun out, hit the 32, and they both go for a spin, and that will end the 32 day. I hate to see that. William Owens, man, just cannot hang on to his stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was there that nearly got caught up in it. I think it may have been Daniel Llewellyn who shaved off a little bit of that number 32 car as he came across. Yeah, I will say I don't think the racing gods were too happy that it was the 31, then the 30, then the 32. I think the racing gods said, nope, you know what? I don't like this order. You guys have messed it up, and just decide to remove all of the grip away from the 30. Unfortunately, there for the 32 of Aiden Amaro, he was put together a really good race in the early stages, but then, you know, as time went along, I feared that the pace fell off, and unfortunately, there just got poached like an egg.
And with that whole move, that changes the complexion of this race. You can see some cars coming down pit road. The 97 of Lucas Hoytsma is a notable entry of those that are coming down pit road. Remember, he was on a separate strategy. It didn't really work out for him, but he has an extra set of tires here in the pit road, so you might as well take him. Got 3 laps to go, and he's going to have to drive the wheels off that thing. It looks like that we're going to get a green, white, checkered to finish this thing out again. And, man, it could be anybody's race. That brings Wesley Napier back into the battle. Wiles, Reiner, Hicksonball even. These guys could all get up here to the front given the right set of circumstances.
Green, white, checkered. Words that fill most NASCAR fans with the same amount of joy as gluten-free cracker.
I agree with that. Oh, goodness. Well, folks, we're about to get this thing back underway. Your top 10, again, let's go through them just to make sure you all know who's who. Tanner Marty sitting P10. Ninth is Devin Medeiros. You got Bryson Hicksonball. Had a very fast car at the beginning of this racing, P8. Bryce Reiner in the 7th place spot. Both of those cars have a good chance if they get a good restart. Daniel Wiles in the 88 sitting P6. Wesley Napier started dead last. He's running P5. And then you can see Casey Graves in the 01, Andrew Dyson in the 41, Seth Foudy in the 77, and Joseph McWhorter. The driver who just had the hell of a save of a lifetime that I've ever seen is going to lead them to the green to get this restart underway. And it's just a matter of time before we find out who's going to be on top. McWhorter, Foudy, Graves, Dyson, or someone else.
See, I am going to say that I think Seth Foudy may be able to weather his way through the storm. He is going to be faced with a big uphill climb just because of the way the restarts work here on iRacing. I still think they need to find some sort of way to fix this, because it's something that I've seen. You do see those loopholes begin to get exploited time in and time again when the leader can control the restart fully and they're leading by about 0.3 of a second before the first corner. Kind of takes the fun out of the restarts entirely. It stacks up the field behind it, and then chaos breaks out. Interested to see whether Foudy can punch out and give McWhorter a hard time. Interested to see whether this is the only green-white checkered attempt we use.
All right, out of turn number 4, folks. McWhorter on the top, Seth Foudy on the bottom. Through the restart zone. Great restart for the outside line as we get this thing back underway. 73's clear to the bottom if he needs it. Seth Foudy has yet to win this season. He has yet to win in this series at all. Same with Casey Graves in the 01. 77 gets loose on the bottom of the racetrack. They're going to be 3 wide for P2. 41's loose on the bottom as it looks like Casey Graves is going to pull away to P2.
A little bit of contact there once again. The 41, the 77, multiple touches as they headed their way through 1 and 2 and on the back straightaway. 3 wide racing fanning out behind by the white flag. Got to be seen by McWhorter trying to get his first win in his title defense.
It looks like they got the white. They are wrecking across the line, but they got the white. We are staying green. 73 sitting right there in the lead. Got plenty of gap. Casey Graves got a long way back. Coming to the line, multiple cars wrecked at the front straightaway, but Joseph McWhorter coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time out of the corner will come to the line to win the Friday Night Lights Series race here at Texas.
You can still see the smoke and the tire marks as they headed their way across the stripe. But Joseph McWhorter, his first win since 2025, and it comes a little bit earlier than his first win back in the 25 campaign as well. He had to wait all the way until Pocono during the summer. We saw the smoke and the chaos going on there in the mid-pack. There's what started 90 and the 20 making contact. The 95, 97 getting involved in that, so too the 17. And it was a big one going down here at Texas. I was going to say, with all the smoke and the tire marks left on the track and in the grass when your leaders came around to take that checkered flag, it looked like a war zone.
It was a wild one for sure, but that 73 car would not be denied. Joseph McWhorter gets the job done, does some burnouts here. And let's go ahead and take a look at our finishing results here as the 73 does some burnouts here on the front straightaway. Again, Joseph McWhorter gets the win, finishing in second. Casey Graves, great run for him today, finishing P2. Andrew Dyson will come around to get P3. We'll talk to all three of them here shortly. Daniel Wiles will finish P4 with Seth Foudy P5. Bryson Hicksonball, great day altogether, just finishes outside of the top 5. 7th place will be Bryce Reiner. 8th, Tanner Marty, great run for him. 9th, Dustin Hall, good top 10. And Devin Medeiros rounds out your top 10 finishers.
And then looking through the rest of the pack here in this race, it was Jesse Winslow in 11th, Tim Phillips in 12th, Jared Grodzicki in P13 in the number 31 machine, Michael Deitch in 14th, Lucas Hoitzma in P15, Cliff Mullins in 16th place, Hunter Trull, Blake Kluwat, Matthew Boston Wheeler, and Michael Mesnard complete your top 20 here tonight. From there, a lot of the other drivers that got the checkered flag were involved in some instances, especially the one on that final lap. Wesley Napier, the final car to finish this race on the lead lap. Kyle Amon, first car, 1 lap down in 22nd. Daniel Llewellyn in 23rd. Mason Lowry, who was actually one of the Dash for Cash contenders here in this race, fortunately had some falling anvils come down on him. Same could be said about William Owens, who was involved in the crash that brought out the final yellow of the race. He ends up in 25th. Bill Hull in the number 76 machine ends up in 26th. Brandon Hunsinger in 27th. Noah Woods in P28. Aiden Amaro in 29th. Steve Benjamin completes your top 30, and just a few more drivers left to go through here in this race. Many of them dropping out. Those include Jacob Simpson, Eric Wineland, Ryan Von Henschel, and Cody Bird, the final driver classified here in this race. But the man of the night is Joseph McCorder, currently pulling off a Polish victory lap here in Texas.
Joseph McCorder, Kirk Mills in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you got it done this week. Well, freaking done. First win of the season, and you got it done here in Texas. Tell us how your day went, and what a hell of a save there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, just an up and down day. I messed up qualifying really bad and started towards the back, worked our way back through. We finished all right in stage 1. The strategy got flipped in stage 2, and then we got hit by the 5 and got up into the wall. And luckily, I turned the wheel back straight and caught it with the rear end first, so that way it didn't bend my suspension. So I was able to fix all the damage and get back up there. And I saw the leaders pitting, and I was like, I got to do something different. So I stayed out and just was hoping for a caution. The way that this season's been going, I just knew that we were going to get one late, and I was kind of hoping to try and trap them a lap down, which is what ended up happening. So, yeah, I just, man, it feels good to get that one out of the way. I was definitely not the best driver tonight. I mean, the car was there, but the driver wasn't, that's for sure. But we executed when it mattered most and had a hell of a save when Andrew got into the back of us. I thought for sure I was done. So I don't know how I saved it, to be completely honest with you.
It was one hell of a save, and it really was. It's the move of the race is what we call it up here. And you got the job done. Anybody you want to shout out? Great job on getting a win, and anybody you want to, give that shout out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, you guys saw me do the Polish victory lap. Just want to dedicate the win and this whole season to my fiance's mom, who passed away a couple weeks ago, as you guys know. And I've been doing that at the end of every race when I win. So first, just want to, say I love you to Kelsey, and wish her mom was here to watch this, because she'd be cheering because she watched all these races. So definitely missed tonight. I got to thank Red Camel Racing. Check them out at redcamelracing.com. Fire suit, shoes, helmets, you name it, they've got it for race weekend. Excited to go to short track racing tomorrow night, real life at I-44 Speedway, and use their equipment. So really excited for that. Outlier Speed Co. Johnny and the boys, such an amazing job week in, week out. Amazing cars. I'm trying to get better and get this car more wins like it needs to. So go check them out at outlierspeedco.com. You guys for putting on the broadcast every week. You guys do a fantastic job. We really appreciate you. All the drivers for a good race, the admins for the hard work, and just ready to get into walking this Glen and see if maybe we can't go back to back.
All right, Joseph. Thank you again so much for talking with us, and congratulations on the first win of the season.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yep. Casey Graves finishes P2. He's with Ron. Casey, go ahead.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Hello, Casey. Welcome into the booth, man. P2 for you at the end of a pretty exciting end to this race here, and a pretty wild night for you. How about you talk us through it?
Yeah, I don't know, kind of got lucky with all the different strategies and everything played out. For once, luckily played out in my favor. Got up to the front, just kind of stayed there, had that 4-car battle, and then the yellow come out, and I was kind of mad because didn't know how the finish was going to play out there if it ended under green. I don't know, Dyson and Joseph were racing each other pretty hard, and was hoping to capitalize on one of them to maybe getting crossed or whatever it may be. I'll definitely take a P2.
Yeah, I gotta imagine you're pleased with that. I was gonna bring up now we're heading into the second third of this campaign here in the 2026 Friday Night Lights Series season. It's been a good run for you so far. Currently, well, at least heading into this race, that is 10th in the points, 36 points above that cutoff line. What's the thoughts as we get a little bit farther along in the spring with the summer knocking on the door and the regular season standings really becoming important before that not playoff, thank God, chase grid gets locked here a little bit later on this year. What are the thoughts as we head throughout the rest of this campaign?
Just consistency. Just try to keep having consistent runs, top 10s every week. I had a couple bad weeks there, just either bad luck or like Bristol, just not one of my better tracks. Luckily, we're past the kind of rough stretch for myself. Looking forward to next week. Watkins Glen ran pretty good at Coda, so hopefully carry that over to Watkins Glen, have another good run there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Watkins Glen, but as a true professional, you asked the question before I could even answer it. But Casey, before we let you go and celebrate this P2 run here in the Lone Star State tonight, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
First off, just everybody tuning in and watching. You guys for putting this broadcast on, and Jason, Bobby, and Bryson for putting the league on. Without them and you guys, probably have nothing here. Then, of course, Lucas and Daniel for racing with me. Everybody over at Black Flag, and let's see, of course, Conti. Been running the Conti setups last year. Definitely been helping me out. Been a big improvement in the game here, and yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us here in the booth, Casey, and we will see you out on the racetrack next time out at Watkins Glen.
All right, thank you.
And that right there was Casey Graves, our P2 finisher. And Kirk, with that underway, with that taken care of, I will pass the mic back off to you to have a chat with our P3 finisher of Andrew Dyson.
Andrew, you got a copy?
Good evening, Mr. Kirk. How you going?
Hey, we're moving right along here, Andrew. I saw that move you made there at the end. You about to did a little bump and run. You almost had a chance at him. I gotta hear what you thought about that whole move. How he saved the car. What you thought about your race, and at the end of the day, getting a P3. What's that all feel like?
So working away from the end backwards. So at the end there, yeah, I didn't want to drive through him. Obviously, I saw he was entering high. Probably because I was entering high. That was my guess. I actually don't know for sure, but I decided I'd switch up. I'd go low. Had a good run. He also cut down. I think he was doing that a little bit as well. But yeah, I was sort of hoping that I could be close enough to slow him down a little bit, at least keep him just in front of me. But it didn't want to touch him and spinning out. So obviously, backed off a bit there. Backed off quite a bit actually, and the guys behind us caught up and ended up getting right amongst it. So yeah, obviously not intentional, but because you don't want to have a 1v1 turn into a 1v7 when you're trying to have a race there. But anyway, yeah, we got through it. No one died, got to the finish, as I was just saying to Joseph just then. So it was all good. But yeah, the rest of the race, apart from getting some damage at one point there, wasn't amazing. I mean, it probably started the best when I started on pole, and that was about it. Decided to go out and see what I could. Just try and go as fast as I could and see what my tyre balance was like. Having not done any sort of race runs and learning from previous races, I thought that was going to be my best shot, and I think it did help me out. But just when I was sort of just coming on good there, in the second stage, that yellow came out and I got a bit of damage. So that put us back. But anyway, ended up backing into a P3, long story short, so that's cool.
Got to tell you, Andrew, it was fun to watch you all day long. But that end of the race deal, that was just quintessential awesome fun watching. I gotta say that it was pretty cool to watch. Unfortunate that you didn't quite come away with the win, but at the end of the day, I got to ask you, is there anybody you'd like to shout out? Anybody you want to let know that you appreciate them or anything like that, I guess?
Yeah, man, I just, big shout out to you guys for doing the TV show. It's fun to watch. I actually just watched a bit back just then. That was fun. That was, I did a quick flick through, but I'll make sure I watch the whole thing through as well, because I appreciate you guys doing this, and it's a bit of fun to look back and watch me go backwards there for the second or the middle part of the race. But thanks to all the boys over at TCSP, all the guys in Ace Moneymaker, and the TCSP boys who jump in and we talk a bit of crap throughout the race and all those things. And they probably put up with me sucking because I got damaged there for a minute, but it was all good. We got back, and thanks to all the folks who put the little league on for us to come out here and be yahoos and run into each other and stuff. Appreciate that.
Well, Andrew, one last thing. What's your victory plan for next week when you win at Watkins Glen again?
I'm sorry, is there a done deal? Have I won the race already?
I honestly think it would be very difficult to see anybody else. We've seen you do really well, but it's Watkins Glen, so that's the one road course where some oval guys can catch up to you. What's your plan for next week?
Oh, I mean, it's the same plan as always. I just want to go out and go as fast as I can. But I think I've said this before about that track. That's the one track where all the oval guys really, who don't road race a lot, those top oval guys, they go really well there. I think it's as far as all the road courses go in the NASCAR scene, that is the road course. And so when it comes to the dudes that run ovals mostly, they probably spend the most time at Watkins Glen, and I think it helps them out a lot. So I certainly don't expect the script to be written as you are alluding to, but I'll get out there and have a dip, cruise around, see how we go. I mean, I expect to be amongst it, let's put it that way, but you never know who might show up and who's going to have a dip and who's going to just have awesome speed. Like we've seen, Luke has been really fast lately. Obviously, Nolsey, he won the cup race at Coda. So you never know, man.
You never know. That's true, man. I wish you the best of luck, and thanks for talking with us, Andrew. Right. Great job on P3.
Yep, and congrats to the other two, Joseph and Casey, and everybody else who had a good finish there.
All righty. Again, we'll see you next week.
See you, boys.
Well, there you go, folks. Ron, what are your takeaways?
Texas was the Texas race of all Texas races. I think we had some fun, though, as we got towards the end. The drivers knew when to bring the heat, to bring the thunder here in the No Limit 300. But we're back on my home soil, for lack of a better term, Watkins Glen, outside of Pocono. It is the track, outside of Pocono and Dover, probably the track that is the closest to me geographically here in the city of Philadelphia. I'm really looking forward to that. Watkins Glen, probably, in my book at least, the best road course that we have on the NASCAR calendar. It is so much fun, so racy, and not too technical as well, where these drivers are just, skating around like declawed cats. I'm really looking forward to that race at Watkins Glen in 1 week's time, and I think we're going to have a real good time for that broadcast next time around.
Absolutely. We want to thank everybody for tuning in here to Maconi Entertainment. Myself, we got Ron Mounts here alongside myself, Kirk Mills, Howie Burrows up there in the producer booth. Thank you again so much for watching the Friday Night Lights series here on Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.